This page is the cover of the February 1993 issue of BeepMD magazine. The main focus is the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards, revealing the best games of 1992 as voted by over 3,800 readers. The cover prominently features a delightful wooden figure of Sonic the Hedgehog, dressed in formal attire and holding an award trophy, symbolizing the awards event. Key games mentioned include Streets of Rage 2, Europa Sensen, Esperanza/Doraemon. The issue also features a Mega CD press section covering titles like Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Ninja Warriors, Final Fight CD, Ranma 1/2, 3x3 Eyes, Annette Again, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 Eyes, and Simurth. Another feature is titled Planet Sega World, and there's a special appendix dedicated to Game Arts titles on the Mega CD platform.
The cover price is 480 yen.
This page features Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails, celebrating the new year at supersonic speed. The main focus is promoting Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Mega Drive, highlighting the game's enhanced fun, especially the competitive two-player mode, shown with a screenshot of Casino Night Zone. Another image displays a special stage. The page announces a supersonic action campaign for Sonic 2, which includes a quiz. As part of the campaign, purchasing a Mega Drive console and Sonic 2 together nets a 1,000 yen cashback coupon. Additionally, players have a chance to win an exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog 2 original parka through a lottery. The page also mentions a nationwide Sonic 2 championship tournament held in January 1993, emphasizing the game's focus on speed and competition. Sonic 2 is available for 6,800 yen. This page showcases Streets of Rage 2, known as Bare Knuckle 2 in Japan, highlighting its status as a game with unprecedented fighting technique. The prominent artwork features the 4 playable characters: Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, the new powerful wrestler Max Thunder, and Adam's younger brother, the energetic Skate Hunter. The page emphasizes the game's substantial 16 megabit cartridge size and includes several screenshots illustrating the diverse gameplay environments. Text explains the plot, noting the return of Mr. X's syndicate, the kidnapping of Adam, and the heroes, old and new, uniting to take on the evil organization once more. The game was scheduled for release in Japan on January 14th for 7,800 yen. This page features the upcoming release of Final Fight CD on the Mega CD system, scheduled for late February 93, with the price still undecided. The classic arcade beat-em-up is presented as a super version, going beyond a simple port by faithfully recreating the large character sprites, enemy types, and stage layouts of the arcade original. It also boasts BGM, utilizing the system's sound capabilities, and includes an original mode. You'll see screenshots and artwork featuring the game's heroes, Cody, Guy, and the iconic Mayor Hager, ready to take on the Mad Gear Gang to rescue Hager's daughter. The page also highlights a Mega CD first anniversary promotion, bundling the hardware, priced at 49,800 yen, requiring a Mega Drive, with a special Sega Classic Arcade Collection, Premium CD. This collection includes 4 popular Mega Drive titles: Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, The Revenge of Shinobi, and Columns, offering a fantastic bonus with the system purchase. Victor Musical Industries is releasing several Mega CD titles this spring. Jaguar XJ220 offers a realistic racing simulation with 2-player support. Heimdall is a large-scale RPG based on Norse mythology, blending action and full-motion video. Wolfchild is a side-scrolling action shooter where a genetically modified character seeks revenge. Lastly, The Secret of Monkey Island is a point-and-click adventure about a boy's pirate ambitions, using elements of smooth scrolling and a large dialogue system. Additionally, the original music CD for Landstalker, The Treasures of King Noel, is available, featuring arranged and remixed tracks, complete with a logo sticker. This page features vibrant promotional artwork for Wolf Team's Mega CD title, Annette Futatabi. The central image is a dynamic portrayal of the protagonist, Annette, a character known from the previous game El Viento. Surrounded by menacing figures, she stands ready for action, reflecting the game's genre as a side-scrolling action game. The page prominently displays the game's title and confirms its release date as January 29th on the Mega CD platform. This page expands on Wolf Team's presence on the Mega CD, featuring 3 of their upcoming titles. The top section continues discussing Annette Again, part of the Ernest Evans series. It's described as a full-fledged fighting action game, where you aim to thwart the ambitions of Nemesis through varied combat actions including attacks, defenses, and combos, all presented with beautiful, anime-style visuals. The left panel highlights Devastator, a D-Project Media Mix collaboration involving Wolf Team, Takara, and Warner. This game promises a high-speed dimensional battle against the invading Devastator across intense space stages, featuring stunning visuals crafted by top anime staff, scheduled for a February release on Mega CD. On the right, the page presents Arcus I, 2, and 2I, a complete compilation of the Genesis Legend Arcus RPG series. This Mega CD version compiles all 3 parts into a single release with a grand story. A significant feature is the inclusion of a massive 5 hours of voice acting, featuring all characters and a lavish voice cast, making it the first of its kind on the platform, set for a March release. Contact information for Wolf Team's Gamers Hot Access is also provided at the bottom. This page features Konami's debut title for the Mega Drive, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist. The vibrant page includes both gameplay screenshots showing the turtles battling enemies in a street setting, and dynamic artwork depicting the 4 turtles in action against a horde of foot soldiers and villains like Bebop, Rocksteady, and potentially Shredder. The text describes it as a dynamite pop action game, highlighting its unique characters. It suggests the game is ideal for those who enjoy the thrill of single-player combat against many foes, or the camaraderie of 2-player cooperative action. It also appeals to fans of fighting games due to the characters' flashy moves and exaggerated actions, playfully inviting anyone interested to try this turtle game. Contact information for Konami is provided at the bottom.
This page highlights Konami's powerful debut on the Mega Drive with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, a title that truly unleashes the system's capabilities, as suggested by the large Mega's power text on the left. You can see the game in action with screenshots showcasing the turtles brawling with foot soldiers on the streets and taking on bosses like Leatherhead in sewer levels. The classic TMNT logo is prominent, confirming the game's identity. It's noted as being currently on sale for 6,800 yen. The page also includes a mention of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 video release for fans, and features a game selector AV unit, a handy switcher for connecting multiple consoles to your display.
The next page presents Koei's upcoming World War II strategy simulation, Europa Sensen, European Front, set for release on both Mega Drive and Super Famicom platforms in January 1993. The striking artwork features a collection of military leaders alongside tanks, hinting at the strategic depth of the game. Accompanying text emphasizes the brutal reality of war, asking players to distinguish friend from foe as steel machines advance, and highlighting the intense day and night battles across diverse environments, from the cold of Europe to the heat of Africa. Players are tasked with leading either the Axis or Allied forces to victory. Screenshots display the game's strategic map interface and unit management screens, typical of Koei's historical simulation titles. This marks the grand appearance of an intense WW2 experience. This page gives us a look at J.League Champions Soccer for the Mega Drive, an official J.League title featuring real teams and player names like Kazoo and Ramos. This game aims for a realistic action and simulation experience. The page highlights key features including exciting 2-player matches, league play supporting up to 8 participants, detailed player data, and strategic formation selection. You can even relive crucial moments with action replays that function like VTR, showing up to 10 seconds of the decisive plays. Screenshots showcase the game's formation selection screen and in-game action. Developed by Game Arts and published by Shogakukan Production, this highly anticipated soccer title was set for release on February 26, 1993, priced at 7,800 yen. This page focuses on the original soundtrack for Streets of Rage 2, known as Bare Knuckle 2 in Japan. The main image features a large close-up of composer Yuzo Koshiro. The accompanying text delves into the music, mentioning influences from house and techno genres, building on the first game's sound while incorporating intense, varied electronica, potentially leveraging the Mega Drive's unique audio capabilities, and discussing differences between the game version and the CD release. It also highlights collaboration with Motoi Kawashima. The page includes a track list and indicates the album was released on January 21, 1993. This page features the game known internationally as the Kickboxing, or in Japan.
The artwork shows 2 boxers in action, emphasizing the realistic combat. It highlights that the game features a massive 500 character animations, promising a super realistic full-fledged fighting game. The game was scheduled for release on January 29th and priced at 8,500 yen. The page showcases several modes to enjoy. There's a select hit mode,
where you can choose 13 favorite moves from over 50 types and freely create your own character type, allowing for unique strategies. The VCR mode lets you relive the final round of a match like a video, with slow motion, fast forward, and rewind functions, perfect for analyzing weaknesses and checking techniques. Training mode is essential for strengthening kicks and punches, improving reflexes, and sparring. There's also an option round select mode, where you can choose from 3 to 12 rounds. Finally, the Kunamite mode offers challenges against opponents in an outdoor match, described as a true test of strength. The publisher is listed as Microworld. This page provides the table of contents for the February 1993 issue, offering a comprehensive look at the latest and upcoming releases for the Sega Mega Drive/Genesis and Mega CD. It leads with a new release scramble, highlighting recent arrivals like Golden Axe 2i, Rolling Thunder 3, Splatterhouse 3, Tiny Toon Adventures, Terminator 2, Muhammad Ali Heavyweight Boxing, and Echo the Dolphin. The B-Mega Hot menu focuses on highly anticipated titles, including the acclaimed Streets of Rage 2, Steel Talons, Megalomaniac, and, as seen on the previous page, the Kickboxing. A significant section covers the results of the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards, revealing the best games of 1992 as voted by readers. There's also a special report on 3 featured games, notably Robo Alesti for the Sega CD, alongside other new titles. The Mega CD Press provides a preview of upcoming Sega CD software, including major titles like Sonic CD, Final Fight CD, The Ninja Warriors, Dark Wizard, Night Trap, Simurth, and VE. The table of contents also lists various regular columns covering news, reader feedback, and specific game series. This page presents the sales data for both the Sega Mega Drive and Game Gear software, offering a snapshot of what was popular at the time. The Mega Drive charts are led by the massive hit Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which has taken the top spot globally according to the commentary, pushing last month's champion Landstalker down to second place. The article notes Sonic 2's widespread appeal and hidden techniques being discovered, indicating strong player engagement. Other notable entries in the top 10 include the Sega CD Title Time Gal in third, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, and the action game Mega Twins. It gives a good overview of the diverse genres selling well on the Mega Drive. Below the Mega Drive list, the page features the Game Gear Top 5 sales chart. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 also dominates the Game Gear charts, sitting comfortably at number 1, followed by the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Phantasy Star Gaiden, a Game Gear exclusive title, ranks 3rd, and Vampire, Master of Darkness, is also present in the list. The commentary mentions that the quality of Game Gear software seems to be improving as the system matures. The screenshots showcase gameplay from these leading titles, from platforming to RPG and action games. This page features user wish lists and arcade game popularity. The user data section presents the top 20 games that Mega Drive users most want to see ported to the system. It highlights strong demand for major hits like the Street Fighter II series and Final Fantasy, but also shows interest in diverse titles such as Princess Maker and Emerald Dragon. The section notes the impact of recent ports like Final Fight and hints at more big announcements coming soon. Alongside the list are glimpses of games like the robot customization action game Wolf Fang, the simulation title Graduation, and the dungeon crawler Madu Monogatari. Below this is the shop data section, showcasing the current top 5 most popular video games based on arcade popularity. Unsurprisingly, major arcade powerhouses like Virtua Racing, Street Fighter II, and Art of Fighting dominate the list, reflecting what players were enjoying in arcades. The chart also includes the action game Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, noted for its 4-player support, and Namco's falling block puzzle game, Cosmo Gang the Puzzle. This section gives a snapshot of the arcade scene and what players might hope to see ported or find inspiration from. This page delves into the highly anticipated new games for the Mega Drive, based on user feedback, essentially a wish list for upcoming releases. It kicks off the year by highlighting titles that were shown at recent events, with the notable rise of Night Striker to the 5th spot. Topping the chart is Streets of Rage 2, climbing to first place, celebrated for its exciting action and techniques. Following at number 2 is the anticipated character RPG 3x3 Eyes for the Mega CD, with news of a new opening demo. Final Fight CD secures the 3rd position, praised for its perfect porting and the inclusion of voice acting in the opening. Phantasy Star IV takes the 4th spot, confirming development is underway for a release later in the year. The chart continues down to 20, featuring a diverse range of titles users are looking forward to, including Golden Axe 2i, Record of Lodos War, Sylphid, and Phantasy Star IV, covering genres from action and RPGs to simulation and strategy games. This page presents the new software schedule for the Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear platforms. It lists upcoming games, their release dates or status, many still listed as undecided, prices, and basic data like genre and publisher. The Mega Drive section shows a wide variety of titles across action, RPG, simulation, and sports genres, building on the popular titles from the user rankings. The Mega CD list confirms the release of several highly anticipated games that appeared on the user wish list, including the RPG 3x3 Eyes and Final Fight CD, alongside other adventure, simulation, and RPG titles, many still in development. The Game Gear schedule shows a smaller list featuring puzzle, sports, and action games. The editorial department's Check section highlights key upcoming points, expressing excitement about the new 6-button pad, and mentioning the rumored port of Virtua Racing for the Mega Drive, noting it might include a DSP chip as a countermeasure to Nintendo. They also touch upon the buzz surrounding the start of Sonic 3 development in America, suggesting a promising year ahead for the platform. The schedule confirms that many exciting titles are in the pipeline, even if exact dates are still pending for many. This page features New Year's messages from a host of software developers supporting the Mega Drive family of consoles. It's great to see so many companies sending their greetings and outlining their plans for the year. The overall sentiment is one of excitement and dedication to bringing new and interesting games to players. Many developers promise big things, with some specifically mentioning titles we can look forward to. Namco is planning to release Splatterhouse 3 and Rolling Thunder 3. BitTokai is working on Battlemania 2. For the Mega CD, expect titles like Eye of the Beholder, Ranma 1/2, and The Kickboxing, while Game Gear players can anticipate Faceball 2000. Companies like GameArts reflect on past successes like Lunar and look forward to future releases. Even with the challenges of development, everyone seems committed to delivering high-quality experiences and expanding the library with diverse genres. It's clear that 1993 is shaping up to be another strong year for Sega fans, with developers across the board eager to push the boundaries and earn player support. The BeepMD Race Review section uses a unique odds system based on reviewer scores to evaluate new games. This issue focuses on 2 upcoming titles. Streets of Rage 2, a beat-em-up sequel, receives high praise for its improvements, character animations, and special moves, earning an average score of 8.5. Conversely, Europa Sensen, a World War II strategy simulation, receives a lower score of 5.75. Reviewers note its potential complexity and historical focus. Despite acknowledging its gameplay, the abstract unit representation lowers the immersion. The reviews emphasize individual perspectives and preferences, advising readers to consider the scores as reference points for their purchasing decisions. This page presents reviews for 4 Mega CD games using the BeepMD Race format. The Kickboxing, a fighting game, receives mixed reviews for its moves and feel. J.League Champion Soccer is noted for its official license, but draws criticism for its gameplay. Yumi Mix, an interactive anime comic, is praised for its presentation, but is genre-dependent. Simirth, a simulation game, offers depth but its interface divides opinion. This page features game reviews using the BeepMD Race format and editorial commentary. Reviewed are Dark Wizard for Mega CD, a strategy RPG with tactical map screenshots, noted for its abundant animation but challenging gameplay. While the story takes time, reviewers found inconsistent art and long load times, giving it average scores around 6.5. Also reviewed is Lemmings for Game Gear, an action puzzle title considered a masterpiece and a solid port to the handheld, despite low resolution and missing gore effects on explosions. It received favorable scores averaging 7.0. Editorial notes emphasize that January kicks off with a strong lineup. Streets of Rage 2 is highlighted as the top pick this month, described as a must-buy fighting game even for those less skilled in the genre. Dark Wizard is recommended for strategy fans, while Lemmings is praised as a surprisingly fun and faithful handheld port. Previous month's reviews like Yumi Mix, J.League Champion Soccer, and The Kickboxing are also briefly mentioned in the context of the New Year lineup, which leans towards fighting and sports games. Overall, the sentiment is positive for the start of the year, with a clear favorite in Streets of Rage 2 and several other solid titles. This page presents the BeepMD Reader Race, a ranking of Mega Drive games based on reader votes and average scores. The main section features a large table showing the top games ranked by reader average score. Featured are the top 2 games labeled as favorites. The number 1 spot goes to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, shown with a screenshot. Its impressive reader average score of 9.4426 and the magazine score of 9.0. Reader comments praise its enhanced speed and the addition of tails, though some note the ending could be better or the overall length is long. Coming in second is Landstalker, The Treasures of King Knuckle, presented with a screenshot, a reader score of 9.0053 and the magazine score of 8.0. Reviewers appreciate its unique perspective, atmospheric presentation, and engaging scenario, highlighting the challenging puzzles and traps which mean players spend more time solving problems than fighting monsters. In the other outside the frame section, Granada is highlighted. Shown with a screenshot and a reader score of 7.3915, it's described as exhilarating with great controls and an addictive quality, though its length and difficulty might make it challenging to finish. The commentary section discusses the ranking results, noting the significant impact of the top 3 games, Sonic 2, Landstalker, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2Y, being new releases and instantly claiming the top spots, causing shifts lower down the list. This page details games ranked from 54 and below in the B Mega Reader race. The recommended matchup features Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2-1, Dragon of Destiny, rank 3, lauded for its detailed simulation and immersive gameplay, earning an 8.9444 reader average. Time Gal, rank 29, an arcade port, is praised for its nostalgic FMV presentation. The unexpected favorite section highlights Black Hole Assault, rank 62, a fighting game with improved sound and battles, and Vixen 357, rank 87, a strategy game with mixed reception. Further down the list, J-League Pro Soccer Manager CD, actually a baseball game, rank 107, is noted for its hitting mechanics, while Bad Omen, actually Block Out, rank 125, provides a basic block-breaking experience. The page also includes Outsider's Voice with reader comments. This page features the mahjong game Gyowan Bura Jiko Chushinha Katayama Masayuki no Mahjong Dojo, written by Omori Kenta, which ranks 31st in the B Mega Reader race. The review highlights the game's connection to the popular manga, featuring characters with distinct AI that makes playing against them feel less rigid than typical computer opponents. The Mahjong Dojo mode is specifically praised as an excellent tutorial for beginners. The B Mega data confirms the game's consistent performance in the reader rankings, showing strong support from players. Reader comments also emphasize the enjoyable character interactions and the helpful tutorial mode. The right side of the page continues the B Mega Reader race rankings, listing games from 121 downwards, including titles such as Solfis, Galaxy Force, Shadow Dancer, and Rainbow Islands Extra, detailing their genre and average reader score. This page continues the B Mega Reader race rankings down to rank 241, featuring titles such as New Zealand Story, Master of Weapon, Turbo Outrun, Jewel Master, Ultimate Tiger, Monster Lair, Super Hydlide, Double Dragon 2, and Sword of Sodan. A special analysis dives into game evaluation based on price range, revealing that expensive software, largely from Koei like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, receives the highest average scores from readers. Interestingly, cheaper games around 3000 JPY are also well regarded, though games in the 4000 JPY range show more mixed results. The analysis suggests caution with 5000 JPY initial releases, while 7,000 JPY CD titles are generally decent. The page also features sections encouraging readers to participate in the rankings and a prediction game for the average score of new releases, with this month's target being World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. The editor's notes confirm Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Landstalker currently lead the top ranks, and tease an expanded feature on the reader race for the magazine's upcoming anniversary. This page features the B Mega AM network column, focusing on arcade attractions. Taito has introduced the Virtuality Head-to-Head system, which is highlighted as Japan's first competitive virtual reality setup. Located at their Vivo store in Kokubunji, this immersive experience involves wearing a head-mount display and using a space joystick for control. The initial games available are the competitive shooter Nightmare and an RPG called Legend Quest. The review focuses on the nightmare experience. Photos show the hardware, including the cyber-looking chair and head mount, as well as glimpses of the actual in-game visuals seen through the goggles. The reviewer found it quite challenging at first, noting difficulty in finding opponents and hitting targets because shots don't travel in a straight line, requiring intuition to aim effectively. Despite the initial struggles, the system provides a unique sense of depth and virtual movement that impress the player. The joystick controls movement and firing, while head movement is used for aiming. Overall, it seems like an intriguing, if slightly difficult, step into the world of competitive arcade VR. This page features the BeepMD CM Expedition Team column, which takes a look back at old TV commercials for Sega Mega Drive games. The first game highlighted is Battlemania, known as Troubleshooter in North America. The article notes that its commercial was incredibly rare, airing only once. Several screenshots from the commercial are shown, featuring the game's characters and gameplay footage. The commentary mentions the rarity of the CM makes anyone who saw it lucky. Next up is a commercial for RB Baseball 4, a baseball game published by Tengen. The article presents various cuts from the CM, showing gameplay, statistical screens, and the game's title screen. The text dives into a behind-the-scenes story about the voice casting for the narrator, discussing the challenges they faced in finding a voice actor that sounded appropriate for an American game, eventually settling on the final choice after considering others. The commentary finds this anecdote amusing, despite the CM's otherwise serious tone. Overall, the page provides a fun look at rare and interesting television advertisements for Mega Drive titles, sharing details about their broadcast and production. This page is dedicated to the exciting finale of the '92 All Japan F3000 series, titled Be Mega Racing Freak Volume 9. It highlights the final race at Suzuka and the championship outcome. The main focus is on Naoki Hattori achieving his first career victory in a dominant drive. The page also covers the intense championship battle, detailing how Mauro Martini secured the series title in this final race. The competition involved Martini, Suzuki, and Cheever, with Suzuki's retirement in the race proving decisive for Martini. The page features photos of Hattori celebrating, Martini in his championship-winning car, other drivers, and race queens, capturing the atmosphere of the event. It also notes the retirement of longtime driver Eiji Matsui at this race. This page covers the latest information on upcoming Genesis titles, highlighting two action-packed games with arcade roots. First up is Super Smash TV, a chaotic top-down shooter known for its frantic action and unique dual-stick control scheme in the arcade, though the Genesis version adapts this to a single controller with button combinations. It captures the over-the-top televised deathmatch concept, similar to the movie The Running Man. Screenshots show the arena-based gameplay with waves of enemies. Following that is Predator 2. Based on the film, this game offers a unique oblique perspective as you navigate levels, rescuing hostages, and taking down enemies, including collecting drug-related items for points, a theme also seen in the game Narc. It maintains a simple rule set and is presented as a fun, accessible action title with plenty of shooting. Screenshots illustrate the isometric view and the urban environments. Finally, there's a giveaway section offering copies of LHX Attack Chopper and NHLPA Hockey 93 to readers. This page dives into a variety of gaming news and events. It starts with a report on a year-end pinball tournament where the magazine's own Beep team took first place playing on a Lethal Weapon 3 machine. We also hear about a Sonic Hot campaign running in Sega High-Tech Land arcades, where players can win exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog merchandise like clocks and towels. Excitingly, the page covers Michael Jackson's visit to Sega headquarters. The King of Pop met with Sega staff and apparently enjoyed playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2, among other Sega titles like Puyo Puyo and Golden Axe. This is huge news, seeing a global superstar interact with Sega's top characters. There's also a report on the MIDI Fair in Tokyo, detailing how electronic music and production are becoming more accessible. Finally, international news covers the growing 16-bit console battle in South Korea, with Nintendo launching the Super Famicom and Sega introducing their Mega Drive, known locally as the Samsung Super Aladdin Boy. The new releases section highlights various music creds, including soundtracks for games like Dark Wizard, and a card game based on the historical strategy series, Genghis Khan. This page is all about the Planet Sega World event, a huge celebration held at the Ryogoku Kokugikan on December 6th, roughly 2 weeks after the monumental release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sega really pulled out all the stops for this one,
hosting their first major fan event of this kind in Japan. The event featured a packed lineup of guests, including celebrities and voice actors, like Yumiko Takahashi and Megumi Hayashibara. Inside, fans got a look at new MegaDrive software, peripherals, and upcoming arcade titles, showcasing Sega's impressive momentum. The atmosphere was electric, described as a festival frenzy, with fans showing incredible passion. So many people turned up that some fans reportedly queued all night, leading to some understandable congestion during entry. For those who couldn't attend, the magazine's MegaDrive team was there in full force, providing a comprehensive report of the day's excitement, covering the new releases, and even featuring an interview with guest Yumiko Takahashi. This page continues the report on the Epic Planet Sega World event. The Planet stage hosted exciting events, featuring celebrities, J.League soccer stars, and even Sonic himself. The arena area was absolutely packed, with fans eager to get hands-on time with MegaDrive systems. The Symbol Zone displayed the MegaDrive hardware, including the new 6-button controller and the Mega Spider light gun. Elsewhere, fans competed in tournaments for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Streets of Rage 2, while others checked out the 3x3 Eyes corner or tried their luck at arcade games like Virtua Racing and the UFO catcher machines. The basement third-party area showcased new titles from developers like Game Arts, Taito, and Konami. Finally, a charity shop was set up near the exit, selling goods to raise money for a children's hospital. Overall, the event was a massive success, buzzing with activity and giving fans a taste of the exciting future of Sega. This page features singer and actress Yumi Takahashi, who performed at the Planet Sega World event. The article highlights her appearance on stage and includes an interview covering her thoughts on performing for game fans, her experience with video games, and her future plans. In the interview, Yumi Takahashi expresses her nervousness but also enjoyment at the event, mentioning the excitement of playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. She notes her studies, mentioning that she's finding English difficult, despite it being the focus of her university courses. She also talks about her busy schedule balancing work in music and acting, including upcoming releases and roles. She shares a message with readers, encouraging them to study but also play, and to support her work if they can. The profile section provides details about her age, height, and career highlights, including her music releases and appearances in dramas and musicals. This page showcases the main new software titles that generated excitement, likely at the Sega World event mentioned previously. It features a grid layout presenting various upcoming games for the Sega Genesis and Sega CD. Notable titles include the colorful platformer Tiny Toon Adventures, the intense beat-em-up Splatterhouse Part 3, the cyberpunk action of Rolling Thunder 3, and the impressive 3D polygon shooter Sylphid for the CD. Other highlights feature beloved characters returning in titles like Sonic CD and Battletoads, expansions to popular series such as Golden Axe 2i and Shinobi 2i, and anticipated RPGs like Phantasy Star IV and 3x3 Eyes on CD. The selection covers a wide range of genres, from action-packed fighters like Fatal Fury 2 to unique adventures like Night Trap and quirky titles like Switch. The page effectively conveys the breadth and depth of new releases on the horizon, promising a diverse gaming experience for fans. This page dives into a special report on the follow-up to Musha Aleste, tentatively titled Cyber Shinobi Aleste 2, known internationally as Robo Aleste. The feature highlights several exciting developments for the anticipated sequel. Visually, the page showcases the main female protagonist, Akunoichi, alongside designs for the player mech, dubbed the New Aleste, and a striking rival machine. The article notes a deliberate shift in design philosophy, aiming for a more refined Japanese way-style aesthetic compared to the previous game's look. The player mech, Robo Aleste, is said to be slightly smaller, 78 meters, emphasizing mobility, and will feature different forms with powerful options. Gameplay-wise, the developers are adding new attack methods and promising flashy visual effects. They are also planning to incorporate animated visual scenes after stage clears. A key point mentioned is the focus on boosting the game's speed and intensity, addressing feedback from the first title. The report concludes by eagerly anticipating the game's planned autumn release, likely around October or November. This page features a special report on Ihisaichi no Deisei Kai, translated as Ihisaichi's Great Political World, an upcoming political simulation game for the Sega CD. The article highlights its unique blend of political maneuvering and humorous gag world storytelling, where players aim to rise to the top and become prime minister.
The game boasts two distinct modes. The main game appears to be the core political simulation, likely involving strategic decisions, fundraising, and navigating the complexities of the Diet, as shown in one screenshot. The minigame mode, on the other hand, seems to incorporate adventure-style elements, depicting a character engaging in various activities related to different political themes like welfare and environmental protection, essential for gathering support in the main game. The producer mentions the game's grand scale and emphasizes the importance of understanding the nuances of adult social dynamics and grassroots activities to succeed. It sounds like a fascinating and potentially hilarious take on the political genre. This page features a special report on a new game announcement from Wolf Team. The focus is on an event held at the famous Juliana Tokyo Club, aptly named the Wolfman Jack Party in Juliana, Tokyo, where they unveiled their latest project, Rika vs. Annette. The game is described as a shocking new work from Wolf Team, potentially coming to the Mega CD, and notably featuring entirely CG graphics. The event itself included appearances by models portraying the game's characters, Rika, represented by Ai Ijima, and Annette, in a live-action version, standing prominently with the game's title displayed behind them. The article captures the excitement of the announcement event, held on December 1st, highlighting that significant new information about the game was revealed there. Photos from the party show the venue, the stage presentation featuring the models, and attendees. The author expresses anticipation for the game and enjoys seeing the real-life versions of the characters. This looks like Wolf Team was branching into a new genre, possibly a fighting game or something similar, leveraging the star power of Ijima AI and the character Annette, who was also featured in their Mega CD title, Annette Futatabi. This page continues the report from the Juliana Tokyo event, highlighting the Wolfman Jack Party hosted by Wolf Team. While the event showcased existing titles like Annette Futatabi and Tenku Mai CD Special for Mega CD and Noigeir for Super Famicom, the true revelation was the sudden announcement of a brand new title, Apros, Chapter of the Sky. This game is being touted as a next-generation CD game, featuring entirely CG graphics, potentially signaling a game revolution. Based on a novel serialized in Logout magazine, Apros aims to deliver an original experience built around this story, handled by Jingyo Sameji. The visuals, which appear to be rendered scenes of futuristic environments and mechs as shown in the screenshots, are credited to Atsushi Mori, known for his work on the theatrical anime Silent Mobius. The planned platform is listed as all Credrom, meaning Mega CD owners absolutely need to keep an eye on this project. The excitement in the venue, when the CG visuals were shown, suggests this is a groundbreaking title that fans are eagerly anticipating. This page introduces the New Release Scramble, highlighting a selection of upcoming Mega Drive titles. The list at the top includes games like Golden Axe 2i, Mick and Mac, Splatterhouse 3, Rolling Thunder 3, Tiny Toon Adventures, Terminator 2, Genghis Khan 2, and Echo the Dolphin, among others. The first detailed preview focuses on Golden Axe 2i. This marks the third entry in the popular Golden Axe series for the Mega Drive. A significant change is the increase to 4 main protagonists, differing from the previous games which featured 3. The preview notes that a demo version was showcased at a recent Sega event. Development is stated to be only 30% complete, indicating it's still early days. It's listed as an action game supporting 2 simultaneous players. The screenshots show familiar fantasy beat-em-up gameplay, though the text mentions the main characters are new. A caption points out 2 characters look like Tyrese and Axe Battler. Below that is a preview for Mick and Mac as the Global Gladiators. This is described as a comical action game resulting from a collaboration between Sega and McDonald's. The gameplay involves defeating enemies and collecting M marks scattered across the map to fulfill the clear conditions. It's listed as an action game strictly for 1 player. The screenshots display colorful platforming action with Mick and Mac characters. The text adds a humorous note about collecting marks for clear conditions, not for getting discounts at McDonald's. This page continues the New Release Scramble, focusing on 3 exciting upcoming titles. First up is Splatterhouse 3 from Namco. Rick returns for a new installment, bringing a new gameplay system where he can transform and power up by collecting items, increasing his attack power. The developer notes the game looks visually similar to the previous entry, but boasts improved character detail and background artwork. Screenshots show Rick in both his standard and transformed states, highlighting the powerful new attacks. Below that is Rolling Thunder 3, also from Namco. This sequel to Rolling Thunder 2 significantly powers up the action while keeping the spy movie feel. Players can now use powerful weapons like bazookas in addition to the standard pistol. New rounds featuring vehicles like motorcycles and water bikes add variety and cool action segments.
Screenshots showcase the vehicle gameplay in different environments.
Finally, we have a Harimanada from Sega, a sports game based on the popular manga.
The game follows the relentless winning streak of the boastful Yokozuna Harimanada. It's described as a fast-paced adaptation that captures the spirit of the manga, focusing on Harimanada's quest to break the winning record, rather than being a typical sumo simulation. Screenshots display the distinctive art style of the main character and intense sumo matches.
This page continues the new release scramble, featuring 3 more upcoming titles.
First up is J.League Pro Striker from Sega, a soccer game focused on the popular J.League. It highlights cooperation with Jeff United for realism and uses data from Soccer Digest. The reviewer notes the increasing number of J.League games appearing and the anticipation for this more authentic entry. Screenshots show team selection, player stats visuals, and a tournament mode. Next is Tiny Toon Adventures, an action game from Konami, noted as their second overseas Genesis title. Based on the popular anime, like their Ninja Turtles games, it stars Buster Bunny and other characters. The game aims to replicate the animation's look and feel, with the reviewer highlighting the character expressions. Screenshots show vibrant platforming action. Finally, Terminator 2. The arcade game from Sega is a light gun shooter, a direct port of the intense arcade hit. The page confirms it works with the Mega Spider light gun peripheral, bringing the arcade experience home. It features relentless shooting action against various Terminators and boss battles. The review notes the excitement for this fateful port, which is listed at 100% completion. Screenshots display the first-person shooting perspective and iconic Terminator enemies. This page continues the new release scramble with previews of 4 upcoming games. First is Genghis Khan from Koei, a simulation game where you play as a ruler in the era of Genghis Khan, aiming for territorial expansion. Known for its PC popularity, this Mega Drive port offers 2 scenarios focused on the Mongol Empire. It's expected to feature refined battles and detailed graphics. Next is Boogie Woogie Bowling by Visco, a straightforward bowling game designed for multiplayer fun. It features simple controls for positioning, spin, and power, plus a new throwing method. This marks Visco's debut on the system. Following that is Shinobi 2-1, Return of the Ninja Master from Sega, the highly anticipated sequel. It builds upon the action gameplay of the previous title, with new moves like wall traversal and the ninja run. The graphics, including bosses and backgrounds, have seen significant improvements. Finally, Kishi Densetsu, Night Legend, from Kodansha Soken, is a World War II tank battle simulation. This strategy game aims for realism and detail, enhancing elements often missing in war SLGS to satisfy genre experts. A large campaign mode is also in the works.
This page continues the new release scramble with previews of 3 interesting titles. First up is Super Battle Tank, War in the Gulf, developed by ACT. This game dares to tackle the recent Gulf War conflict, putting players in the cockpit of a modern tank. You navigate minefields using radar, seek out enemy armor, and engage in realistic-feeling tank battles from a first-person perspective. Missions involve destroying targets and clearing areas, with guidance from a commander. It captures the intensity of the conflict, though the reviewer notes it's a rather bold theme for a game. Next is Muhammad Ali Heavyweight Boxing, published by Virgin Games. This game brings the legendary boxer back to the ring. Players aim for the championship alongside Ali. The game features an overhead ring view and tracks fighter condition using power and speed meters, making the action clear. It even includes voice acting for Ali's famous lines and sounds from the crowd, adding to the atmosphere.
Finally, we see Echo the Dolphin, developed by Novotrade. This is an emotional game about a dolphin searching for its missing family in a beautifully rendered underwater world. The graphics and dolphin movements are smooth and impressive. Echo uses ultrasound, which acts as a communication tool and a sonar map to find others and navigate the environment. The reviewer highlights the environmental themes and the unique perspective offered by the game. Streets of Rage 2, or Bare Knuckle 2, is a highly addictive beat-em-up game, surpassing its predecessor. Featuring 8 stages and 2-player co-op, it delivers intense action akin to Double Dragon and Final Fight. The game boasts smooth controls, satisfying combat, and larger character sprites. The game introduces new playable characters, Max Thunder and Skate Hunter, joining returning heroes, Axel Stone, and Blaze Fielding. The story centers on the kidnapping of Atom Hunter by Mr. X and the Syndicate. Players use the returning police special as they navigate the story. The sequel continues the narrative, with a resurgent Mr. X seeking revenge. The review highlights refined gameplay, an expanded character roster, and a compelling story, making Streets of Rage 2 a must-play. This page dives into the initial stages of Streets of Rage 2. Stage 1, Downtown, captures the atmosphere of a street fight, progressing through a bar and rainy alleyways. You'll encounter common Syndicate thugs, like Garcia, Donovan, and Signal, each with their own fighting style, making group encounters tricky. The boss for this stage is Barbin, the bartender, who uses powerful kicks. The page also touches on weapon usage, emphasizing that weapons become potent tools depending on the character and should be used effectively, even thrown as projectiles. Moving on to Stage 2. The Bridge. The setting is a construction site with unstable footing, adding a challenge. New enemies appear, including the annoying road warriors on bikes, and the formidable Souther, who awaits inside a truck. Souther serves as the stage boss, known for his quick movements and long-range martial arts attacks. There's a small section highlighting the road warrior enemy type. A small comic panel is also present for entertainment. Stages 3 and 4 of Streets of Rage 2 are reviewed. Stage 3, the amusement park, introduces challenging new ninja enemies with varied attacks and the agile boss Zan. The stage emphasizes managing multiple enemies on screen and avoiding stasis against Zan. Stage 4, the stadium, features a deathmatch arena and a scarcity of health items. New, dangerous Muay Thai fighters, Eagle and Phoenix, are introduced. The returning boss Abaid is now tougher, necessitating distance-based weapon attacks or hit-and-run tactics. The review also notes breakable item-dropping game cabinets in the amusement park. Bongo, a surprisingly fast sub-boss, is also discussed. Finally, a section seemingly unrelated to the game, titled Sammy's Club Kids, is included. This page continues the Streets of Rage 2 coverage, focusing on stages 5 and 6. Stage 5, set on a ship, features challenging encounters with ninjas and bomb-throwing Otokaugi across its multiple levels, culminating in a fight against the powerful Sar Bear. R-Bear is a boxing boss who excels at counterattacks like jumping uppercuts and elbow drops, requiring players to approach him cautiously from the front. Stage 6 covers a coastal area and a forest path, introducing motorcycle enemies and dangerous landmines that can be strategically used against foes. The bosses for Stage 6 are the enhanced duo, Sahad and Mappa, simultaneous versions of Sing and Jet. The recommendation is to target Mappa first, due to his lower health, before dealing with Sahad. The page also introduces Blaze Fielding, highlighting her improved appearance, increased dialogue, and overall activity in the game. There are also minor sections on self-defense and Qigong techniques. The next page moves on to Stage 7 of Streets of Rage 2, the Robot Factory. This stage is populated by many robot enemies named Iron and Bronze, making it crucial to defeat them quickly. The boss is the cumbersome Mr. Robot, who attacks with heavy iron balls and lasers. The page advises moving carefully to avoid his attacks. The page then transitions to the game's one-on-one battle mode, detailing effective techniques for each character. A diagram shows the matchup ratings between Axel, Blaze, Max, and Skate. Each character gets a summary of their fighting style and useful tactics for battle mode. Axel is described as well-rounded. Blaze is highlighted for her reach, Max for his high damage output and powerful attacks like the sliding tackle, and Skate for his speed and dash attacks, although some of his moves are noted as being slow in execution. Finally, there's a section discussing the Game Gear port of Streets of Rage, presented as a conversation between Axel and Blaze, offering their impressions on the handheld version of the game. This page begins with a roundtable discussion among magazine writers about fighting and beat-em-up games on the Mega Drive. They discuss classics like Golden Axe and the Streets of Rage series, praising Golden Axe and Streets of Rage 2 for their controls and character individuality compared to titles like Double Dragon 2. A screenshot of Golden Axe accompanies this section. Next, there's a behind-the-scenes Q&A and a book carry with the Sega developers of Streets of Rage 2. They reveal their focus during development was on the satisfying feel of combat, optimizing performance, and balancing the 4 playable characters. They detail significant improvements over the first game, including brighter visuals, larger characters, varied backgrounds and sound, and a more arcade-like control feel, noting the game uses 4 times the data volume of its predecessor. They also hint at future ideas for a potential sequel, and advise players to try the game on hard mode and experiment with all moves, as some seemingly ineffective ones have hidden uses. The final section covers the filming of the Streets of Rage 2 TV commercial. It highlights that the CM features the character Blaze, portrayed by actress Reina Hazuki, and includes photos from the shoot as well as her profile. A concluding note from the developer emphasizes that the quality of Streets of Rage 2 is a significant leap over the original, making it a strong recommendation for fans of the genre. The BeepMD page centers on a forum discussing the Sega Mega Drive's future in 1993. Users yearn for the console to shed its niche status and reach a broader audience. They criticize high software costs and urge Sega to lower prices. Competition with the Super Famicom is a key concern, with users hoping for more mainstream hits and exclusive titles. The forum highlights a need for increased third-party support, advocating for arcade ports, classic series sequels, and better Mega CD utilization. Distribution problems, especially for those outside urban areas, are also discussed. The users acknowledge successful Mega Drive titles, but recognize the Super Famicom's successful releases the previous year. The April issue's theme is then teased as adult scenes. The next page features the User's Voice section of BeepMD, showcasing feedback from Mega Drive players. Users share a wide range of opinions, from enthusiasm for titles like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which one user calls the best action game they've played, and a significant improvement over the first, to concerns about Sega's strategy. Several users discuss the Mega CD, wishing for classics like the Sega Arcade Collection to be more widely available, and expressing frustration with fragmented game design and titles based on animation, hoping for more consistent direction, unlike what they anticipate for Phantasy Star IV. There are also comments on the hardware itself, with one user noting the convenience of the Wonder Mega for peripherals. The ongoing debate about the Mega Drive's image persists, with a user lamenting that some dismiss the console based on weak early titles, having never played later successes. They argue Sega needs to rectify these misunderstandings. There's also specific feedback on games like Super League 91, praised for its detailed player data, and even negative commentary on Landstalker. The illustrations on the page depict characters from Landstalker, Galaxy Express 999, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Shining Force Gaiden, reflecting some of the popular and anticipated titles of the era. The next page continues the BeepMD user feedback section. Readers are sharing their thoughts on various Mega Drive titles. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a popular topic, with users praising its beautiful graphics, enhanced sound, incredible speed, and clever traps, calling it powerful and essential for MD owners. There are also discussions about other games, including feedback on specific elements like graphics, gameplay mechanics, and weapon effectiveness. A dedicated section focuses on Gambarling Risser 2, where fans provide extensive feedback to the developer Messiah, expressing hope for a sequel and offering suggestions for improvements, appreciating the developer's craft. The editors add a note asking for user requests for a Mega Drive version of Phantasy Star. The page also features user-submitted illustrations, showcasing fan art for titles like Sonic, the Hedgehog 2, and Brandish, as well as original character designs. A final commentary section includes lighthearted speculation about potential hidden meanings in Sonic 2, specifically referencing Tails and programmer Yuji Naka. This page continues the BeepMD reader feedback section. It features Mega Focus, highlighting bizarre or amusing things found in magazine advertisements based on reader submissions. There's also a 4-panel Sonic comic strip from a reader in Iwate Prefecture, and another short manga titled Megadora-san. The Beep Peru Bin Talk section features reader comments on various topics, including discussions about creepy series in games, and personal anecdotes, with submissions from Saitama and Shimane. A dedicated section titled Embarrassing Mega Drive Scenes showcases awkward moments captured in game screenshots, and even a photo reenacting one. It includes a scene from Super Batter Up, showing players in peculiar poses, and a photo mirroring it. Another highlighted scene is from Rastan, depicting a character transformation. The text notes the graphic shows Rastan acquiring a new weapon, and questions why the character appears to be in such pain. Finally, a small note at the bottom celebrates this issue as the 100th installment when counting from the original Beep magazine.
This page continues the BeepMD section, featuring more reader contributions and magazine updates. It starts with Hitokoto from Bipuru, where readers share short anecdotes. One person recounts seeing a middle school girl overjoyed buying a Mega Drive console, while another mentions the strange choice of a shotgun as Doraemon's weapon in a game. There's a 4-panel comic featuring MD Kun, the Mega Drive mascot, reacting to the prospect of a 6-button controller. An apology addresses an error in the January issue's news section, correcting the publisher of MD Perfect Video from Pioneer LCD to LDC. The page details the various reader submission categories for Bipuru Land. These include a discussion corner with the intriguing April theme Adult Scene, a section for general user feedback on games and the industry, a place for complaints, specifically about game music lyrics, the Bin Talk section for sharing awkward or funny poses, and a section for reader illustrations. The December issue present winners are announced across several categories: preferred Mega Drive software, game image, sound crids, and telephone cards. A lengthy list of winners from various prefectures is presented. Finally, the page provides the submission address and notes the prizes awarded for accepted submissions, as well as listing winners from the previous issue's reader race. This page features a New Year's special edition of Taguchi and Dogen's Dojo of Aphorisms, a regular column from the folks at Sonic Software Planning. The main section includes a lighthearted dialogue reflecting on the start of the new year and the column itself, with Taguchi and Dogen seemingly struggling for material, but determined to deliver a great aphorism tournament. They interact with a third person, possibly named Takeuchi, and mention New Year's traditions like eating mandarin oranges, all within the context of their creative process. Below this, the page presents a collection of aphorisms from the staff members. These short, often witty or resigned, sayings offer glimpses into the personalities behind the games. Contributions include lines like, "Hit it and break," and then "scatter in pieces," and a cynical take on game development and purchase regret. Composition 10 days, production 1 month. If I buy it, I regret it my whole life. There are also more personal reflections, such as musings on having no place to sleep, and someone insisting they are still a high schooler at 18. These brief aphorisms, attributed to various pseudonyms and locations, provide a fun, informal look at the team's thoughts. Sonic Software Planning's team reflects on the past year. Hiroshi Takahashi notes rapid industry progress and a busy year with multiple projects. Champion Takahashi discusses the side story release, highlighting the team's dedication, even while prioritizing health. New staff member, Hanako, shares her experiences, adjusting to office life and looking forward to gaming. The Sonic Communications Mania section promotes the newly released Shining Force Gaiden, Expedition to the Light, and seeks fan feedback. It also previews upcoming releases like Shining Force 2 and Gaiden Scenario 2, Sword of Hachia, with a large cast of playable characters. The page concludes with thanks and promises of future content. The next page features the Sims Communications Update, Volume 10, highlighting a significant game reveal. The main article announces that the project previously known as Junkers High has been renamed to Outrun 2019. This change required negotiation with Sega to use the iconic Outrun title. The developers, including staff from the original Mega Drive Outrun, discuss how the game differs, emphasizing the move to 3D stages, increased speed, the addition of jumps and traps like pits, and varied stage branching, while noting the removal of the classic time-based race structure. A small screenshot shows the futuristic race environment. The game is currently being fine-tuned for a planned release around March. Below this is the Sim Communication Mailbox Corner, showcasing fan interaction. There are 3 fan illustrations featured. One notable piece of mail inquires about the possibility of a Megami Tensei game on the Mega Drive, specifically mentioning the hope for a Shin Megami Tensei port if Sims were to collaborate with Atlas. The magazine responds by acknowledging the strong interest, but remains no comment for now, promising more details will be shared soon. This page continues the Sims Communication section. It features the final installment of a segment titled The Most Dangerous Story, Conclusion, which ties into a fortune-telling theme. The crystal ball reveals cryptic hints about future projects, including mentions of Tokyo RPG, the letters SDHA, and something about 32 and a written box. These are clear teasers for upcoming games or developments, keeping us gamers guessing. There are also some illustrations of characters with humorous dialogue, alongside a small hint section about a back command that changes item names in a game. The page introduces a segment called Fun Shimamoriho, featuring a charming illustration of a character resembling Totoro, suggesting a fun, perhaps fan art-driven part of the column. Below that, there's the 8th installment of the Lord Quizzes problem, challenging readers with a question potentially related to a Capcom game. Finally, the standard call for fan postcards for The Sims communication is present, encouraging readers to send in their artwork, gags, or anything else for a chance to be featured and win a prize. This page features Uncle Jam's Passionate Cereal, a column examining the state of the Japanese game industry. Penned by the person pictured, the piece discusses market trends like liberalization and increasing competition, reflecting on reader feedback about anxieties and dissatisfaction within the industry. The author delves into the landscape of domestic console manufacturers, specifically Sega, NEC, and Nintendo. He emphasizes how the 16-bit era fostered diversification, encouraging more third-party developers to participate across multiple platforms, moving away from the previous dominance of a single system. While noting Nintendo's continued strength domestically, the author views the growing number of third parties on systems like the Mega Drive as a positive development for the market. The column also includes data illustrating the increase in third-party participation on the Mega Drive, Super Famicom, and PC Engine. Concluding the segment, the column actively solicits questions from readers about games and the industry for future features. This page discusses the emerging world of multimedia and crowd-drawn publications. Titled, Seeking the New Frontier, the article highlights global trends in digital media, like initiatives in the US and France moving away from paper publications. The main focus is on crowd-drawn magazines, specifically introducing McClunch, a recent release at the time, presented as a prime example of what's possible. The article describes McClunch as a multimedia bento packed with content. It features both Japanese and American sections. The Japanese part includes software tutorials, specifically for Macintosh, and demonstrations of user interaction. The American section offers interviews with notable figures like programmers and CG artists, allowing viewers to see animated work while the artist speaks. A presentation style highlighted as important for the future. The review emphasizes that creating such a Clydrom wasn't prohibitively difficult, noting that standard tools like a Handycam for video and a Macintosh with readily available software were used, requiring only a small production team. The author suggests that even the reader could potentially create similar multimedia content. The piece concludes by looking forward, predicting that magazines like BeepMD could eventually be read on the Mega CD, and that the reader might be at the forefront of this new era. While praising the mix of text, audio, and video, the lack of full-motion video is noted as the only minor regret. The ability to click on a map to view associated photos and explanations is also highlighted as a convenient feature. This page is a vibrant advertisement from the Sega specialty store, Santa, promoting their extensive lineup of Sega hardware and software, with prices listed including tax. Featured prominently are special New Year's gift set deals offering bundles of 3 games for discounted prices across 3 tiers, A, B, and C sets. The main focus is a massive list of Mega Drive games available, covering everything from popular hits like Streets of Rage, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Phantasy Star, to more obscure titles, all with listed prices. There's also a section for new releases with specific availability dates. Beyond the Mega Drive, the store lists games for the Game Gear, Mega CD, including notable titles like Lunar and Wonder Dog, and even the Master System and Mark II-I, alongside various peripherals like controllers and adapters. This store looks like the go-to place for any serious Sega collector at the time, offering a huge selection at competitive prices with convenient mail-order options. This page introduces the Sega Mega Drive simulation game, Europa Sensen, developed by Koei. This World War II simulation is presented as the second in a series from Koei, focusing on the conflict across Europe between the Allied and Axis forces. The page highlights that real historical generals like Rommel, Patton, and Montgomery appear, and the game recreates actual battles on historical battlefields. 6 specific scenarios are detailed, covering key moments from the war, including the invasion of France in 1940, the North African Campaign in 1942, the Battle of Kursk in 1943, the Battle of Normandy, and the Battle of the Bulge in 1944, and concluding with the Battle of Berlin in 1945. The game allows players to choose either the Allied or Axis side, and supports 2-player competitive play, promising deep strategic gameplay. The artwork depicts the intensity of the conflict with generals, tanks, and aircraft, while a map shows the geographic scope of the scenarios. The game was scheduled for a January 16th release at a price of 12,800 yen. A sidebar also lists other games featured in this magazine section, including titles like Mazen Saga and Steel Talons. This page continues the explanation of the Sega Mega Drive strategy game, Europa Sensen. It details key gameplay mechanics, starting with the crucial task of appointing generals to your units. Players must select generals whose abilities match the unit's strengths, emphasizing the importance of assigning high-ability generals to units with significant artillery or tank power. This strategic decision is presented as a critical first step. The page then showcases some of the historical military leaders featured in the game. Allied generals pictured include de Gaulle, Montgomery, Patton, Bradley, and Zhukov. Representing the Axis are Manstein, Guderian, Rommel, Piper, and Bayerlein. The game includes many more renowned commanders from World War II, allowing players to field their favorite historical figures. Moving into operations, the game involves directing units on the map to achieve mission objectives, primarily by moving and capturing cities. Careful planning of movement routes and considering intermediate cities for occupation is vital. Capturing cities often leads to street fighting if enemy units are present, and the game advises against capturing cities with single units due to the defender's advantage. Air support is also available, offering bombing, reconnaissance, and supply drops to units. Capturing cities allows for reinforcement and reorganization, crucial for maintaining combat strength, although reinforcement can be difficult, making reorganizing damaged units essential for survival. This page continues the overview of the tactical simulation game, Europa Sensen, focusing on crucial gameplay elements. It highlights the importance of understanding and effectively utilizing different unit types, such as tanks, anti-tank guns, engineers, and infantry, by leveraging their unique characteristics in battle. The game emphasizes fulfilling specific mission objectives to achieve victory in each scenario, rather than just eliminating all enemies or capturing numerous cities. Players must carefully study the victory conditions displayed on screen and plan their routes to the final objective, considering intermediate cities for resupply and reinforcement along the way. Avoiding unnecessary losses and maintaining unit strength through reorganization is also presented as vital for success. The page then introduces the game's 6 distinct scenarios, each based on famous World War II campaigns: the invasion of France, 1940, the North African Campaign, the Battle of Kursk, the Battle of Normandy, the Battle of the Bulge, and the Battle of Berlin, 1945. Each scenario is accompanied by a map screenshot and a brief description of the historical setting and key objectives,
which often involve capturing specific strategic locations like Sedan, Tobruk, Belgorod, Bastogne, or Frankfurt and Strasbourg. Finally, a message from the developer positions Europa Sensen as a serious tactical simulation inspired by historical battles, challenging players to test their strategic prowess.
This page focuses on the upcoming action game, Majin Saga, suggested here as the next must-play after the Streets of Rage series.
Set in a grim 1999 where biobeasts have decimated Earth, the game features a unique structure where each stage is divided into 2 distinct modes. Players will navigate side-scrolling action sequences, battling human-sized foes, before transitioning into epic one-on-one confrontations against colossal bosses. The article particularly praises the game's exceptionally smooth animation, attributing it to a special system developed by Sega. This system creates character movements by assembling and combining individual animated body parts, allowing for an impressive range and fluidity, with some movements boasting over 20 patterns. Screenshots highlight this detailed animation, showcasing various attack moves and a dynamic Majin jump. The reviewer emphasizes that this level of animation surpasses other notable action titles, making Majin Saga's movements truly outstanding. The next page delves deeper into Machine Head, showcasing more of its impressive action and unique structure. The title promises the continuous appearance of formidable enemies. The page details 3 stages. Stage 1 is set in Tokyo, where the Biomachine Beast Army led by God Kaiser Hell begins its domination, featuring enemy fighters and a sudden appearance of a giant foot to avoid, before battling the boss, Garada K7. Stage 2 takes the fight to India, where ancient statues are corrupted by God Kaiser Hell, leading to attacks from fire-breathing enemies and confronting the boss, Slughead, who attacks from within a statue. Stage 3 is in Europe, specifically featuring a beautiful arch now stained with blood, a stage with dangerous forced scrolling where you must avoid falling, and another giant foot appears before the boss,
Dino Beast. The combat system is highlighted, confirming 2 modes. Side-scrolling allows for continuous and dash attacks, while the Giant mode emphasizes strategic fighting, with moves like uppercuts, crouching thrusts, and defense against massive foes. The incredibly smooth, Wando-Tunit animation praised previously is reiterated, with the developer stating their proprietary system creates realistic character movements and beautiful graphics, making the strategic big mode particularly enjoyable. Screenshots illustrate throws, different attacks, and defensive stances, reinforcing the dynamic combat and high-quality animation. This page dives into Steel Talons, a thrilling virtual simulation of a $15 million super helicopter coming to the Mega Drive. Originally an impactful arcade experience from Atari, this version aims to bring that same intensity home, possibly with new modes. While the screenshots show English text, a Japanese localization was underway at the time of publication. The game focuses on mastering special helicopter controls. Key mechanics are detailed. Ascent and descent are managed using the C button and DPAD, requiring precise altitude adjustments shown on the meter, especially important in rugged terrain. For combat, the Vulcan cannon, with unlimited ammo, fires automatically when an enemy enters your sight, activated by the B button. Missiles are launched with the A button once a target is locked, offering automatic tracking. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay view, showing the cockpit display and external views with targets and terrain. The game is listed as a one-player experience, developed by Tengen using a 4 megabit cartridge, scheduled for a February release with the price yet to be determined. This page details the different gameplay modes available in Steel Talons for the Mega Drive. After mastering the basic controls, players can dive into one of 3 modes: combat, head-to-head, or training. Combat mode is the standard objective-based experience, where you must destroy targets dotted around the map, some of which are hostile and will attack back. Head-to-head is a new mode for the Mega Drive, replacing the arcade's versus mode with a one-on-one battle against a computer-controlled helicopter, though ground targets are also present. The training mode is specifically designed for newcomers to get accustomed to the controls, particularly altitude adjustments, featuring practice gates and initially passive enemies. For players desiring a more authentic simulation experience, the game offers advanced realism options. Real Heli Flight mode replicates realistic helicopter tilting and how it affects your view, making forward movement obstruct the ground. Initial view, when set to zoom in, shifts the perspective entirely to the cockpit, removing your helicopter from the screen for a more immersive feel, complete with a realistic targeting reticle. These settings are accessible via the options menu, which also includes difficulty and sound adjustments. The developers note that this realistic combat helicopter simulator, following in the footsteps of titles like Hard Drivin', might cause motion sickness for some due to its 3D polygon visuals. They encourage players to try it multiple times for its realism, but advise caution against overdoing it. This page introduces the combat evolution simulation game, Megalomania, which was a big hit in Europe. The game centers around seeking planetary dominance by selecting one of 4 powers and eliminating the other 3 races. Players evolve their civilization from early stages, developing diverse weapons and strategies across 28 stages. Featured prominently are 2 of the game's characters. Scarlet, the 1701-year-old Queen of Antares, described as beautiful and proud but emotionally volatile, impacting her strategies. Alongside her is Caesar, the 35-year-old leader from the Sirius Federation, characterized by his strong sense of justice, talent for governance, and cautious, strategic approach aimed at unifying the universe. The page highlights the game's strategic depth and character focus. This page continues introducing Megalomania, the combat evolution simulation game previously discussed, highlighting its upcoming release with screenshots of the strategic map view. It also features character profiles for 2 leaders: Oberon, the unpredictable leader of the Oberons, and Madcap, a seasoned general from planet Marduk aiming for cosmic domination. The page also announces that Afterburner 2i is now on sale for the Mega CD, featuring stunning graphics and intense aerial combat action, priced at 8,400 yen. This page introduces the robot shooting game, Esperanza, tentative title. It highlights the game's impressive 128 simultaneous colors, though the page emphasizes that this isn't its only selling point. Developed by the new team GA Entertainment, the game is a 8 megabit robot shooter. The story section describes a future where Earth is managed by a mysterious group after a world war. A lone man rebels against this group, reviving old machinery to fight back. Meanwhile, a girl is born on Earth with a powerful psychic ability. The man learns of this ability and seeks out the girl, leading the protagonist, a young man, to board the battle machine Esperanza to rescue her and confront the man. The page details the crucial on-screen display elements needed for success. These include the score, shield gauge, which, when depleted, leads to the mecha's destruction, radar, showing approaching enemies, weapon display, power gauge, used for special weapons, and the vernier gauge for maneuvering boosts. Several screenshots show the intense, side-scrolling gameplay action, with the on-screen HUD elements visible, demonstrating the visual information provided to the player. The content stresses that understanding these gauges is vital for clearing the game. This page continues the feature on the robot shooting game, Esperanza, tentative title. It delves into more specific game mechanics vital for survival and success. One crucial element is the converter unit, which allows you to restore your shield, but importantly, it consumes your power energy to do so. This means you can't just rely on it blindly. Managing your power energy is key, especially since powerful attacks also drain this resource quickly. The game boasts a diverse arsenal of 8 different weapons, but you can only switch between them by docking with your friendly machine. This adds a tactical layer, requiring planning before entering tough areas. Screenshots show various weapon effects and combat scenarios. Beyond combat, the page highlights the richly detailed 2D backgrounds, noting that attacks can come from both the foreground and background, adding depth to the action. The environments also feature traps, and using the terrain to your advantage is emphasized as a core strategy. You can also dock with a mothership or merge with a bike for different gameplay segments. Interestingly, Esperanza can recover power energy by exposing itself to light energy. This adds a strategic element, where seeking out illuminated areas is beneficial for power recovery, but might also expose you to enemy fire. Screenshots show the mecha in bright searchlight areas and within a dark cave, hinting at varied environments and power management challenges. This page dives into the world of J.League Champion Soccer. It's presented as a feature to help players learn about the J.League itself. The main section displays a completion gauge at 100%, indicating the feature is complete or ready, and mentions it supports 2-player versus mode. The page highlights the excitement around the J.League, especially with the start of the season in May, urging players not to miss out. It states that learning about the J.League through the game data is key. Several teams are featured with their mascots and strategy summaries, including Kashima Antlers, East Japan Junior Furukawa Soccer Club, Mitsubishi Urawa Football Club, and Yomiuri Soccer Club. While detailed player data tables are shown for each team, these lists provide statistical breakdowns for players across different positions, showcasing their abilities. Overall, the page serves as a deep dive into the game's roster and the real-world league it simulates, aiming to build excitement and inform players about the teams and star players they can expect to control. This page continues the deep dive into J.League Champion Soccer, showcasing more teams that players can control. The feature aims to educate players about the actual J.League teams as the season begins. Featured here are Yokohama Marinos, known for their solid defense and developing offense, and a soccer club, highlighted as a well-balanced team with key attackers. Shimizu Spulse, described as a vibrant club with strong transfers and a powerful attack. Nagoya Grampus 8, featuring an attack built around international stars. Gamba Osaka, characterized by their speedy playstyle, and Sanfrecce Hiroshima, noted for their high-scoring potential and tough players aiming for European tactics. Each team is presented with their mascot and a brief summary of their playing style. While detailed player statistics are shown for each team, these tables simply provide a breakdown of player abilities across positions. A note from the developer suggests players try the game, mentioning its 8-player versus mode, which is perfect for exciting multiplayer sessions on holidays. This page takes a look at Doraemon Yume Dorobu to 79 no Gozansu coming to the Mega Drive. Japan's beloved robotic cat arrives in an action game that feels akin to the style of Sonic. The game features an original story where Doraemon enters children's dream worlds to recover them from the Dream Thief and his 7 Gozansu, leading to stages filled with bizarre enemies and hidden tricks. The action gameplay involves Doraemon using his Shoku gun punch to stun foes, allowing him to pick them up and throw them. He can also charge up for higher jumps and dash for speedy movement. A fun detail points out his hefty landings cause the screen to shake. A highlight is the inclusion of over 10 secret items from Doraemon's 4D pocket, found scattered throughout the levels. Featured items include the copy robot, which creates a helpful duplicate of Doraemon, the Take-Copter allowing flight, and the Anywhere door used to traverse stages. The developers express their passion and mention balancing the game for everyone to enjoy. The game is listed as a single-player action title, with a tentative March 19th release. This page delves into the strategy simulation game Megalomania, a big hit on the Amiga in 1991, now coming to the Mega Drive. While the core goal is conquering territory through combat, the unique twist lies in the process, developing weapons and gathering resources. The game progresses through 27 epochs across 3 islands before a final island, challenging players to become an eternal god. Gameplay revolves around invention, resource gathering, and combat. At the start of each stage, you have no weapons and must invent them using gathered resources. More people assigned to invention speeds up the process, and technological advancements unlock powerful units like jets and even nuclear bombs. Resources are mined from the land around your base, but their availability varies by location, making strategic mining crucial alongside combat. The game features 4 distinct leaders, each with their own style: the aggressive Queen Scarlet, the calm Commander Caesar, the ancient expert Oberon, and the strategic tactician Madcap. Advancing your base technically allows for better resource gathering and production. A curious detail is highlighted: a circular pit left behind after resource extraction. The developers mention the game features extensive voice acting from famous Japanese voice actors, adding personality with unique lines delivered during gameplay. This page features the Kickboxing, a title coming to the Mega Drive. It includes basic release information like the developer, Microworld, publisher, Lauriciel, release date, January 29th, price, 8,500 yen, and confirms 2-player gameplay is included. The focus here is on getting stronger through training. The article emphasizes that before jumping into matches, players must train to raise 3 key parameters, making future fights easier. Skipping training makes it harder to win, so it's crucial to put in the work. Screenshots show training modes like sparring to increase power, hitting a sandbag to increase stamina, and kicking pads for reaction speed. The page then introduces the first 6 opponents players will face, detailing their characteristics. We see portraits and in-game screenshots for each. Opponent 1 has low stamina but high reflexes. Opponent 2 is balanced but slightly below average overall. Opponent 3 is strong in stamina but lacks reflexes. Opponent 4 is well balanced with high stats across the board. Opponent 5 has high stamina but low reflexes. Finally, Opponent 6 is described as a stamina monster, with both stamina and reflexes, making him extremely tough. The developer's note highlights the enjoyment of creating a unique character and developing strategies like mastering moves and special techniques to become a strong fighter by utilizing various game modes. This page features the second installment of Konami Wanisan's Manyuki, Konami Sisters Travels, presented as a casual chat between Konami Wanisan and her co-host, Joshu, set in a whimsical Konami's room. They exchange New Year greetings and discuss various topics, including reader mail. The mailbag segment includes letters from fans, one mentioning the jump from Famicom to Mega Drive, and expressing hope for Konami's strength on the platform, specifically mentioning a title referred to as SHT. Another reader asks about Konami's focus on porting versus original games, suggesting that games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT, should prioritize original content if they are ports. Konami Wanisan acknowledges the importance of originality. A reader also asks about technical differences between Konami's development teams for different hardware. Konami Wanisan playfully deflects the question, stating the Mega Drive team is fully staffed with diverse people, but ultimately asserts there's no technical difference. The page also includes Hayasaka Wanisan's Trouble Consultation Corner, where she and Joshu respond to a reader who sent a photo of Hayasaka from her younger days. They joke about the photo and the reason she cut her hair, leading to a light-hearted exchange. The ending section wraps up the column, thanking readers and teasing future content, including information on MSX development secrets. The address for submitting letters to the magazine's Konami's Room section is provided, mentioning a Konami phone card as a prize for featured mail. Climax Entertainment previews its upcoming projects, highlighted by triple progress on next works, including 3 distinct titles. Yogurt's Great Adventure is an action game with the DDS system, promising quirky gameplay. Magical Girl Mapleloon is a gallage adventure satirizing the high costs and hype of CD-ROM games, employing exaggerated specifications. Finally, Oten Shin Agesta is Climax's debut shoot-'em-up, featuring humorous power-ups. The page also hints at potential isometric adventure games, similar to their previous titles, with relevant screenshots. Fun manga panels by Gunsan add visual humor. A contest winner is announced, and Hiroshi Naito's column, "Here we go!" details his personal interests, offering a glimpse into the developers' personalities. The next page features a serialized novel segment and a humorous manga strip, alongside significant content for Landstalkers, The Treasures of King Knuckle, and updates from Climax Entertainment. The Landstalker section provides gameplay tips from lecturer Morio, explaining essential moves like the Kanoji jump, with a screenshot to demonstrate its use in navigating the isometric levels. It also highlights the popular chicken catching minigame, challenging players to beat a new high-score record. Further down, the Climax Fan Club provides application details for joining, linking back to the excitement around Climax Entertainment's upcoming titles. The page is rounded out with fan-submitted illustrations, including characters likely related to Climax games, and contributions tied into a TV game Radion's radio show. This page features an interview and discussion with Kazutaka Yano, director at SegaFAL.com, under the title, SegaFAL.com is gonna do it again this year. Yakanino provides updates on several key titles currently in development. He mentions progress on Sister Sonic, focusing on character creation, and discusses how they are integrating elements of the Popful Mail system. Super Brandish development is underway, aiming for high visual standards. The Super Daisen Ryaku series ports are challenging, particularly the SCD version lacking scenarios. High Lord Monarch faces difficulties with map size and visuals, while YSIV is being developed with Japanese users in mind, with the basic scenario complete and system considerations being explored. Yakanino hopes to be able to show off some of these titles starting in the spring. The lower section presents Yagano's perspective on the video game industry, challenging the notion that it is universally risky. He contrasts the success of companies like Nintendo and Sega, highlighting Sega's strong consumer game sales. Yakanwano discusses the importance of developing worldwide titles and the limited number of successful platforms globally, which simplifies market analysis. He concludes by explaining that SegaFAL.com's strategy of developing multiple projects simultaneously is a key reason for their approach in this market. This update details progress on several SegaFAL.com titles. Super Brandish will feature mouse support. Sister Sonic, inspired by Popful Mail, includes Sonic and a menu/battle system reminiscent of its inspiration. YS Mask of the Sun, though initially planned for overseas release, is now focused domestically, with a stronger emphasis on story compared to YS2I, and is considered more of a fresh experience. Super Brandish 2 is in development for PC, and the Mega CD version will blend elements from Brandish I and 2. Super Daisen Ryaku 3 SLD is considering a Gulf War scenario. Hyperload Monarch prioritizes fast gameplay over elaborate visuals, focusing on expanded maps, larger countries, and a streamlined system. This page is a special feature section titled, Page Jack! MegaDrive Third-Party Do As You Please, where third-party developers share insights. The first part is the Electronic Arts Victors chapter, written by the PR person Tanimoto. He introduces himself, mentioning his unique background and appearance. He shares anecdotes about his job, including strange interactions with the public. The focus then shifts to their first two releases, Team USA Basketball and the pinball game Crewball. Illustrations show scenes from the office, including staff enjoying cake. The second section is the CD Game Arts chapter, presented as Game Arts Business Diary 3. The entries cover various aspects of daily life at Game Arts. The author humorously notes writing a New Year's message while still in December, and talks about finishing a game project. He mentions interacting with a wide range of industry professionals. There's a funny anecdote about visiting a game store, and a comment on the music from the TV show Twin Peaks. Later entries discuss game bugs and office reports, with accompanying manga illustrations depicting characters in different scenarios, including eating and commenting on office events. This page features more insights from third-party developers in a special corner section. The top half showcases Koei with a humorous manga strip. Military characters, including a commander, are depicted getting completely engrossed in playing Operation Europe. Path to Victory 19,391,945. The comic highlights the game's release on January 16th, and the commander's failed attempt to hide his excitement, emphasizing how addictive the strategy game is. Below is the Tenjin Talk About Tenjin section, presenting a casual interview with two staff members, Natsumi Takahashi and Miyoshi, who handle general office duties. They chat about how they came to work at Tenjin, their roles which involve working on manuals for advertising, and their love for games. Miyoshi specifically mentions being hooked on Gauntlet. They discuss how enjoyable it is to work in the game industry, even if they run out of space for their thoughts. The section also mentions a call for submissions to a mascot corner for Tenjin's manuals. This page delves into the growing trend of the term virtual in the early 90s, questioning its widespread use and impact beyond just technology. The feature humorously highlights the emergence of the virtualist expert, mocks marketing claims like virtual functions on home appliances promising unrealistic results, and explores how the dream ending trope in stories is evolving into a virtual ending. It even ponders if virtual is just another word for lies or fakes. The page also includes a reader submission section mentioning the quirky TV show Ugo Ugo Luga. Additionally, there is a feature on the Ring's Best Bout 1992.5 video, detailing its contents including 15 key matches from the first half of the year's Mega Battle, focusing on prominent fighters like Volk Han and Akira Maeda, along with insights into the strength of Russian and Georgian fighters. This page features the column Eric's Gaming Pleasures by Eric C. Sidensky. In this installment titled, What's More Luxurious Than a Dedicated Game Room?, Eric recounts his recent move to a new apartment. Despite the increased rent, he prioritized space and layout, ultimately creating a dedicated game room. He details the process of packing and the efficiency of the movers. He describes his initial trip to Akihabara to buy necessary equipment for connecting multiple consoles, noting his lack of preparation led to a somewhat frustrating experience. However, he did spot some interesting Game Gear titles, including Phantasy Star Adventure and In the Wake of Vampire, which piqued his interest as a horror fan. He bought a Game Gear and a few games, finding its portability appealing despite the small screen causing fatigue. He eventually returned to Akihabara better prepared, purchasing a selector and cables, along with MegaDrive games Landstalker and Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing. After cleaning and connecting everything, his first dedicated game room was complete. He concludes that life has improved, and he plans to expand his software collection and research games further. The page includes a photo of Eric, a playful illustration of characters with controllers and a nail motif, and a picture of a Sega Game Gear with a TV tuner accessory. This page features a column proposing an unusual game concept. It describes a game where you input numbers to connect to different scenarios, ranging from a seemingly empty room with a ringing phone to strange and unsettling places like a room where someone is stabbed or connecting to animals. Later versions might involve combining letters to create names. Adjacent is the Switch 4-Panel Theater, a comic strip depicting a character interacting with an elevator, likely based on the game Switch. Further down, there's an update on the development status of the game Switch. It states that graphics are nearly complete, and members of the theatrical group Waha Hanpo are handling the voice acting, with impressionist Ken Furipu working on sound effects. Development staff are reportedly working hard. Another section features a column by Ri Shibata, sharing her personal experiences and thoughts on playing classic titles like Dragon Quest II, Super Mario, and Tetris. Finally, there's a brief announcement regarding an upcoming performance by the Waha Hanpo group, titled, One Day, in the Bath, The Vegetable-Filled Murder Case. This page features a column from the B Mega Paranoia Empire series, Volume 8, focusing on baka games, or silly games. The author defines baka games as titles that are intentionally absurd or joking, distinct from poor quality or offensive games. They are seen as well-made games that prioritize humor and silliness. The column highlights several examples, starting with the James Pond series, specifically mentioning the original James Pond and James Pond's aquatic games. Box art for both games is shown. The author praises their creative humor and gameplay. Other recommended games include James Pond 2, Robocod, the classic Toe Jam and Earl, and Krusty's Funhouse. The article suggests that despite the Mega Drive's current state, these baka games represent a unique and radical form of gaming culture that brings fun and creativity. This page is a reader survey postcard outlining how readers can submit their feedback to the magazine. It provides clear instructions on how to fill out the form, including marking answers to multiple-choice questions by filling in circles, demonstrating good and bad examples of marking. The survey asks for demographic information like gender, age, school/occupation, and how many Mega Drive software titles the reader owns. It also inquires about which computer game magazines are read, and asks readers to list the most and least interesting articles in the current issue. A specific question focuses on Sonic the Hedgehog 2, asking readers to identify what aspects of the game they liked most from a provided list, including elements like the stage design, graphics, sound, and playability. Crucially, the survey asks readers which game they most want to buy from a numbered list of 95 titles. This extensive list provides a snapshot of popular and anticipated releases at the time, featuring prominent Mega Drive games such as Streets of Rage 2, Alien 3, Golden Axe 2i, Shinobi 2-1, Return of the Ninja Master, Splatterhouse 3, and Desert Strike. The list also includes many Sega CD titles like Dark Wizard, Final Fight CD, Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Robo Aleste, and Batman Returns, showcasing the growing interest in the new CD format. It's a fantastic resource highlighting the diverse range of games available or coming soon across both platforms. This page announces the results of the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards, based on reader votes from November 1991 to November 1992. With 3,851 readers participating, it celebrates the best games released during this period. The page features various screenshots from popular Mega Drive titles of the era, and a large trophy representing the award. While the awards cover multiple categories, the main focus is on the Game Awards. The page specifically highlights the results for the Shooting Game Award. Thunder Force IV takes the top spot by a significant margin, receiving praise for its overwhelming victory, excellent graphics, and sound, despite some minor technical issues. Super Fantasy Zone comes in second, noted for its colorful presentation and sound design. Thunderstorm FX, a Mega CD title, secures third place as the first Laserdisc game port. Other notable shooting games in the top 10 include Battlemania, Iron Empire, Greylancer, and Twinkletail. The content notes that this year saw fewer shooting game nominees, but the high quality of the top entries made it a strong year for the genre. The 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards announced winners in action, simulation, and RPG categories. Magical Taluto-kun won the Action Game Award, followed by Elysia Dragoon and World of Illusion. The Simulation Game Award went to Tenkafubu, Ayutachi no Fuku, with Shura no Mon and Nobunaga's Ambition, Bushu Funroku placing second and third. RPG games saw a boost with Mega CD titles. Shining Force, The Legacy of Great Intention claimed first, Lunar, The Silver Star second, and Landstalker, The Treasures of King Null third. The RPG category highlighted the emergence of strong titles, though many were initially CD exclusive. This page continues the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards, focusing on other genres, third-party titles, and the overall best game. The Other Genre Works Award covers games outside the main action, simulation, and RPG categories previously discussed. Magical Girl Silky Lip took the top spot, followed by Hanu no Tukyuji Dodge Danpei and Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2. The section highlights the strength of CD adventure and overseas sports games this year. The Third Party Works Award ranks games released by companies other than Sega. Lunar, The Silver Star from Game Arts secured the first place, with Thunder Force IV from Technosoft and Thunderstorm FX from Wolf Team rounding out the top 3. The commentary notes the increasing quality of third-party titles. Finally, the prestigious Overall Best Work Award is presented. Shining Force, The Legacy of Great Intention is crowned the undisputed best game of the year, following its win in the RPG category. Landstalker, The Treasures of King Null placed second, and Lunar, The Silver Star took third, showing the dominance of RPGs in the top ranks this year compared to the previous awards. The page includes screenshots and brief comments on the winning titles. The next page presents the character awards for the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards. First up is the Best Male Character Award, where Lyle from Landstalker takes the top spot. The reviewers praise his portrayal as a non-traditional treasure hunter rather than a typical hero. Other characters recognized include Max from Shining Force and Ale from Lunar, The Silver Star. There's also a humorous note about Yogurt from Shining Force, ranking surprisingly high. Following is the Best Female Character Award. Luna from Lunar, The Silver Star wins first place, with the commentary highlighting the strong showing of female characters this year and Luna's appealing, homely personality. Silky Lip from Magical Girl Silky Lip and Fry from Landstalker also made the list. A side panel notes the increasing prominence and popularity of female characters in games like Lunar and Shining Force. Finally, the Best Minion Enemy Award is given. The classic slime from Landstalker is crowned the best, celebrated for being the quintessential weak but lovable fodder. Other notable minions include Lips from Landstalker, Goblin from Shining Force, and even Instructor Kimura from Shura no Mon, humorously noted for his weakness true to the source material. The next page continues the awards coverage, focusing on the Best Boss, Best Item, and Best Port. First up is the Best Boss Enemy Award, which goes to the formidable Magic Emperor from Lunar, the Silver Star. The commentary highlights his dramatic background and imposing presence. Other top boss villains recognized include the Dark Dragon and Kane from Shining Force and King Null from Landstalker. Next is the Best Item Award, and the top spot is taken by the much-loved Yogurt Ring from Shining Force. This item, known for its comical ability to transform characters, was clearly a fan favorite, beating out useful items like the E-Keek Fruit from Landstalker and Mia's Photo from Lunar. Finally, the Best Port Award is presented. The winner is Thunderstorm FX by Wolf Team, praised for its ambitious attempt to bring a Laserdisc-style game experience to the Mega Drive. Other notable ports include Data East's Chernov and Sega's Rise of the Dragon. The page notes a good variety of quality ports released this year. This page focuses on more awards from the 4th Mega Drive Fan Academy. First up is the Best Script/Scenario Award. Taking the top spot is Lunar, the Silver Star, lauded for its superb flowing scenario which is called the best on Mega CD. The developers expressed their joy at receiving the award.
Other highly Meg-rated games include Shining Force and Landstalker.
A small note praises the dialogue in games like Gainground, listed as 9th place, and the atmosphere in Iron Commando, listed as 10th place. Next is the Best Direction/Presentation Award, with Landstalker winning. The intricate level design and traps are highlighted, along with dynamic direction that makes the 3D perspective shine. Shining Force and Lunar, the Silver Star also rank highly here. A side note discusses how the advent of the Mega CD has enabled new forms of direction, specifically mentioning Sword of Vermilion, listed as, and Thunder Force versus Special, listed as FX. Finally, the Best Music Award goes to Lunar, the Silver Star.
The music is praised for perfectly matching the game's world and is considered high-quality fitting for a winner. The album Sensitive Dream is recommended. Thunder Force IV and Super Fantasy Zone are strong contenders as well. A short piece notes that the music in Toe Jam and Earl, listed as and, is worth the purchase alone for its funky sound.
The 4th Mega Drive Fan Academy Awards highlighted visual and topical achievements. Thunder Force IV won Best Art, praised for its detailed graphics. Landstalker and Super Fantasy Zone also received accolades for their visuals.
Shining Force took Best Package Art for its cool design.
Other notable packages included Lunar, the Silver Star, and Landstalker. The Sensational Topics category saw Konami's arrival on Mega Drive as the top story, generating excitement for potential ports like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hyperstone Heist. The release of the Wander Mega console and the 6-button controller also garnered attention. The article concludes with optimism for Sega, suggesting that despite challenges, innovations like the Mega CD and these developments signal a promising future for the console. This page delves into the Mega Drive's global appeal, showcasing the top 10 games from partner magazines in 5 different countries: America, Megaplay; the UK, Sega Force; France, Megaforce and Tilt Consoles; Taiwan; and Korea, Game Champs.
It's fascinating to see the diverse preferences reflected in these lists. While Sonic the Hedgehog 2 dominates globally, topping 4 out of the 6 lists, other titles show interesting regional trends. America leans heavily into action and sports games like John Madden, NFL 93, and NHL Hockey. The UK list features popular titles like Desert Strike and Alien 3. France shows strong support for Sonic 2, noting its rapid sales success there, alongside games like Landstalker and Elysia Dragoon. The Taiwanese list includes Japanese RPGs like Shining Force and Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, reflecting a market similar to Japan, but also unique localizations or titles like UCHUU Kihei, Victor Sen 357. Korea also includes RPGs such as Lunar, the Silver Star and Langrisser,
alongside unique titles like Thunderstorm FX and Super League CD for Mega CD. Overall, the page highlights the Mega Drive's widespread success and the different game tastes across the world, concluding the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards by emphasizing the console's promising future on the global stage. This page highlights a lively event centered around the popular puzzle game Puyo Puyo. The main focus is the Puyo Puyo Ladies Carnival, a game tournament co-hosted by TV Tokyo's late-night program Gilgamesh Night. Held at Gigo in Roppongi, the event drew industry figures and featured guest appearances by personalities like Fumi Hosokawa and Ai Jima, who were shown enthusiastically playing the game. The report notes the high energy and the sexy cheers from the attendees, capturing the exciting atmosphere. The event also included a Miss Puyo Puyo segment, with Kimi Aisawa crowned based on her gameplay and reactions. In addition to the event coverage, the page announces the National Puyo Puyo King contest. This is a high-score challenge for Puyo Puyo players, with rounds for the title of Puyo Puyo King and monthly Puyo Puyo Master. Prizes range from consoles like the Mega CD and game software to exclusive merchandise, rewarding top players across different skill levels from beginner to master. The contest requires players to submit proof of their high scores, along with personal details to enter. The first round has concluded, but the announcement calls for entries for the second and third rounds. The page also features a small comic strip section called Puyo Zurando, likely a fun, character-focused feature related to the game. This page features a roundtable discussion with key developers from Climax Entertainment, reflecting on their experience creating Landstalker for the Sega Mega Drive, which was the console's first 16-megabit game. The discussion takes place about 2 months after the game's release, and centers around the reception and development challenges, particularly with the DDS 520 system used. The developers, including the director, map lead, scenario writer, and graphics artist, share their thoughts on the game's unique 3D perspective and gameplay mechanics, noting that players themselves gained experience adapting to the system. While acknowledging the game was well received, they also touch upon elements they wanted to include but couldn't due to development constraints, hinting at lessons learned for future projects. The potential for the DDS 520 system to be utilized in other games is also raised. The page is illustrated with screenshots from Landstalker and photos of the developers who participated in the discussion. This page continues the roundtable discussion with the Climax Entertainment developers following the release of Landstalker. The developers reflect further on the challenges of building the game's unique system and how players adapted to its perspective. They discuss feedback received and the lessons learned from the development process. The conversation then shifts focus to the future, with a prominent question asking about their next project. The developers are pictured here: Kosuke Ohori for balance adjustment, Motohiro Takeuchi for music, Yoshitaka Tamaki for character design, Masumi Takimoto for tools, and Ryushiro Miyazaki for graphics. They touch upon the possibility of a sequel, mentioning Landstalker 2, and the potential use of their development system in other games, referencing titles like Shining Force CD, Shidaku 2. The illustration shows a scene from Landstalker, with the hero Nigel being held captive by a female character. The developers express a desire to apply what they've learned to future projects, and hint at a potential announcement for their next game in the spring. This page kicks off the Mega CD section of the magazine, spotlighting upcoming releases. The main feature is the highly anticipated Sonic the Hedgehog CD, or Sonic CD as it's known internationally. The article teases its wonderful samba rhythm music and stunning anime sequences, proclaiming the anime intro is too cool. Following up on the massive success of Sonic 2, Sonic CD aims to return to the series' roots while leveraging the CD format for unique presentations. The page also includes intriguing strange information about a potential time warp mechanic, allowing players to jump between the past and future within a zone, with a screenshot presented as evidence. The game was first revealed at the Planet Sega World event, where the animation received particular praise. For fans who couldn't attend, this feature provides a detailed look at the game's current state. Other titles covered in this Mega CD lineup include games like Final Fight CD, Night Trap, and Vey. This page provides a thorough verification of the Mega CD version of Final Fight CD. The article highlights that the game was showcased at the Planet Sega World event, where a playable sample was available, including a proper opening demo and gameplay up to the second stage. The inclusion of a newly drawn opening demo impressed attendees, drawing significant crowds to the monitors. It is noted that the action portion is still being adjusted. Excitingly, the game features voice acting for the first time in a home console version, bringing the characters to life. The visuals closely resemble the arcade original, and the option mode allows for detailed settings adjustments, offering peace of mind for players. The page includes screenshots of the game in action, showcasing combat and stage elements, alongside character portraits, including Mike Hager, Cody, Guy, and the newly drawn Jessica. Overall, the preview emphasizes the game's progress and promising features, particularly the voice acting and detailed presentation leveraging the Mega CD format. This page continues the detailed look at Final Fight CD for the Sega CD. It highlights several key aspects faithfully reproduced from the arcade version. Players will see stage transition demos, and importantly, the game allows up to 4 enemies on screen at once, a significant improvement over the Super Famicom version, which only showed 3. The Mega CD version also brings back simultaneous 2-player co-op, missing from the Super Famicom port, and features all 3 main characters, Guy, Cody, and Hager. Special moves like Hager's screw pile driver and Guy's triangle jump are included, along with detailed graphics that reproduce various enemy types. The article notes the accurate reproduction of enemy behavior, such as climbing stairs, and even points out the distinctive appearance of Cody. Overall, the preview emphasizes the game's commitment to replicating the arcade experience on the Mega CD. This page introduces Messiah's first Mega CD title, Ranma 1/2. White Ran's Love Song, an original story presented as a digital comic adventure. Building on the PC Engine version, this game boasts significantly more animation, described as about twice the amount, creating smooth and continuous movement. A key feature is the use of a CinemaScope aspect ratio, giving the visuals a wide, cinematic feel reminiscent of a movie. While it's an ADV, the scenario is easy to follow, keeping players engaged. The game also includes some scenes that appeal directly to fans. The page highlights the numerous popular characters appearing, including Ranma, Akane, Genma, Panda, Nabiki, Sound, Shampoo, Tatewaki, Moose, Ryoga, and Ukyo, each with a brief description of their role in the story or notable traits like transformations or rivalries. The game is listed as a single-player title, planned for an April release. This page continues the look at Messiah's digital comic adventure, Ranma 1/2. White Ran's Love Song on the Mega CD. It presents a sequence of screenshots laid out like a manga or comic strip, illustrating key moments from the game's story, accompanied by dialogue boxes and a larger text summary. The narrative depicted starts with Ranma and a caring Kane encountering trouble outside at night, leading to Ranma's transformation. Upon returning home, Akane's father, Sound Tendo, pushes them into a strange arrangement involving a date center appointment. This quickly escalates into Ranma and Ashikane getting into their usual fight. The story then highlights Nabiki Tendo, who, ever the opportunist, offers information on a way to revert Ranma's curse, but for a price. Ranma, forgetting their recent fight, asks Ashikane for the money to pursue this potential cure, only to find Nabiki has already left. The screenshots capture various character reactions and events, from tense encounters to domestic arguments and comedic moments, effectively demonstrating the game's presentation style as a playable anime episode, building upon the description of it being a digital comic adventure with increased animation compared to previous versions. This page continues showcasing Messiah's digital comic adventure, Ranma 1/2. White Ran's Love Song on the Mega CD, presented again in a dynamic manga panel layout. The story progresses from the previous page, depicting Ranma and Akane searching, only for Ukyo Kuwanji to appear. Ukyo, ever competitive for Ranma's affection, attempts to guide Ranma herself, leaving Akane behind. Ranma then encounters Shampoo, and the two head towards a research institute mentioned as a potential source for a cure. Upon arriving at the large building, they are met by the head of the research institute, who introduces them to Nanjo Arisa, a mysterious girl who is seemingly waiting for Ranma. The dramatic text summary reveals that Ukyo and Shampoo are subsequently dropped into a pit trap, and Ranma is knocked unconscious by Arisa. The page ends on a suspenseful cliffhanger, asking, "To be continued in the next issue?" This confirms the game unfolds chapter by chapter, leaving players eager for the next part of the story, highlighting the game's interactive narrative style. This page focuses on the Mega CD port of Taito's arcade classic, Ninja Warriors. The game is nearing completion at 90% and is set for release on February 26th for 7,800 yen. It promises a faithful conversion of the action game, with simultaneous two-player gameplay. The article highlights the high degree of accuracy in porting the arcade version, including detailed sound effects and enemy character reproduction. A major bonus is the inclusion of music by Taito's sound team Zuntata, featuring newly arranged tracks, including an ending theme, alongside the original arcade BGM. The page also reveals a significant addition exclusive to the Mega CD, a backstory or prologue sequence. This content, apparently cut from the arcade version due to size limitations, is presented through digitized video and English voice acting. It details the events leading to the creation of the two robot protagonists,
set against a political backdrop of overthrowing a dictatorship. Interestingly, the article points out that members of the Zunta sound team appear in these digitized scenes, including a live performance. The page also delves into the meaning behind the mysterious ZTT, which ties into this new narrative content and features characters like Li Yuan. This page provides a detailed look at the gameplay of the Mega CD version of Ninja Warriors. It begins with a basic control guide, explaining the use of the DPAD for movement including jumping and crouching, and dedicated buttons for attacking with kunai and using shuriken, noting the latter have limited supply but significant utility. The article then walks through the initial rounds. Round 1 highlights the nostalgic backdrop featuring large portraits, discusses standard street enemies, and introduces the boss, Kuno, who wields a longsword. It also points out an enemy that retreats by throwing smoke. Round 2 escalates the challenge with a massive tank boss and airborne enemies. It also features a memorable ninja dog enemy and a large aircraft that dominates the screen. Finally, Round 3 introduces the formidable foe, Shadow Man, known for mimicking the player's movements, and showcases areas with multiple paths. It mentions flying squirrel-like enemies, and culminates with the boss Iron Arm, emphasizing that defense is crucial against his powerful Iron Ball attack. The review highlights specific details about enemy behavior and level design in these early stages. This page dives into the upcoming Mega CD RPG, Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes. It's slated for release on March 26th, will be a single-player experience, and is currently around 60% complete, with development moving along steadily. The article kicks off by reporting on the massive success of the 3x3 Eyes corner at the Yusei Sega World event, which saw over 10,000 attendees. A major highlight was the appearance of Megumi Hayashibara, the voice actress for the main character, Pi. Although a planned signing session had to be cancelled due to the overwhelming crowd size, her personal quiz segment generated immense excitement. The feature explains that this month's coverage will focus on the event, showcasing the impressive opening visuals and scenes from the press story, which are now complete, in an effort to build anticipation among readers. Accompanying the text are photos capturing the enthusiastic crowds at the event, and a picture of Megumi Hayashibara on stage. There are also character designs, and a stunning grid of screenshots from the game's opening and early story sequences, featuring Pain, Benares, and other key characters. The text overlay on one image teases a plot point. It seemed the cruel, one-eyed King Anva was defeated by Pei's power, but these visuals definitely make the wait for the game's release even more difficult.
This page serves as a guide to the Hong Kong commercial district within the Mega CD RPG 3x3 Eyes, Seima Densetsu. Following up on the previous page's coverage of the game and its promotional event, this feature provides players with essential information about one of the game's key locations. The article presents detailed map layouts of the district, showing different areas like the student dorm, police station, various shops, weapon, fish, restaurant, treasure, tool, talisman, butcher, and floor plans of a building, 1F, 2F, 3F, containing a reception, cafeteria, storage, and editorial department's hunter office. There's also a flowchart outlining the steps required to reach Kowloon, emphasizing the crucial role of talking to non-player characters to gather information. It highlights that dialogue changes depending on whether the character Slingling is in the party. The guide introduces Ka-Ling herself, providing her character stats and suggesting her importance as an ally due to her experience. It states that recruiting her is a primary objective before proceeding further. The article stresses that obtaining the correct information from townsfolk is essential to overcome obstacles preventing travel outside the district. Getting the wrong information, even with Hodlingling, will block progress. Success means obtaining the necessary hint to move forward. The guide encourages players to revisit conversations if stuck. This page features Dark Wizard, Yomigirishi Yami no Madushi, an epic RPG for the Sega Mega CD, finally hitting the market. The article focuses on the primary antagonists, the 4 heavenly kings of the demon army, and provides insights into how the 4 holy kings can combat them. The main illustration depicts the formidable Veronese, the revived dark sorcerer responsible for creating these powerful foes. Each of the 4 heavenly kings is detailed, highlighting their elemental affinity and combat style. Karmark, the flame demon, is noted as the strongest, excelling in wide-range fire magic, though vulnerable to water units. Daharg, representing hell and earth, is described as having powerful earth magic, but a limited attack range, suggesting surrounding and focusing attacks are effective. Hitarsupa, the water beast, is strong in aquatic environments, with long-range attacks but weak on land, and susceptible to fire. Lastly, Gandhul, the wind demon, is a close second in power to Karmark, capable of free flight and wielding powerful wind magic, with dragons or humans being effective against the airborne monsters it summons. The page also notes which map each boss makes their appearance on, offering crucial tactical information for players preparing to face these major challenges. This guide outlines strategies for the 4 playable characters, Holy Kings, in Dark Wizard: Wenrique, X2I, Xion, Imelda, and Aemon. Wenrique, the good-aligned prince, offers a balanced approach with humanoids and monsters, his key unit being the aerial Monoceros. Xion, the paladin, excels in direct combat, emphasizing rapid territory expansion. Imelda, the evil sorceress, relies on powerful magic and durable monster units. Aemon, the dark puppet master, boasts high attack and summons undead, simplifying early gameplay. Each Holy King has unique stats, abilities, and follower units that dictate their strategic approach to combat. Illustrations of the protagonists and antagonists highlight the impending final battle. This page features a detailed look at Tenbu Mega CD Special, a simulation game on the Mega CD focusing on unifying China. The report specifically dives into Scenario 2, titled Dragon and Tiger Clash, playing as the character Liu Bei. The reviewer notes that although Liu Bei starts in a difficult position, making him unsuitable for a quick China conquest, his limited number of officers and territories actually makes him an excellent choice for players new to the game's systems and rules. The article stresses the importance of assessing the state of surrounding territories, especially their troop numbers, right from the start. Liu Bei begins with a dangerously low troop count in his key locations, so reinforcing troops using the Recruit Troops command before advancing time is crucial. Visuals on the page include a map showing the connections and military strength of territories near Liu Bei's starting area, clearly illustrating the challenging strategic situation. With different colors representing Liu Bei's, Cao Cao's, Yuan Shao's, and empty territories. There's also a list showcasing Liu Bei's officers for Scenario 2, such as Zhang Fei, Guan Yu, Mi Zhu, and Zhao Yun, along with their portraits and key stats like politics, diplomacy, strategy, command, and military prowess. Screenshots show the game's real-time battles and interface. This page continues the look at Tenbu Mega CD Special, detailing the internal affairs and battle systems. Internal affairs involve managing resources, like gold and troops. But the key is appointing the right central officials and provincial governors, whose skills heavily influence overall development and resource management. Unlike some games, there aren't specific commands like development or water control for every little thing. The focus is on appointing competent officers to oversee these areas. Combat is highlighted as being advantageous for defenders, where good strategy and officer ability can significantly impact outcomes. Success isn't about issuing commands during battle itself, but rather careful preparation and troop composition beforehand. The game also offers useful tips, such as forming cavalry units with a high percentage of horses, how officer stats influence unit strength, and the benefits of building agricultural colonies, Tundan, for population and troop maintenance. Special actions like diplomacy and tactics exist, but require state funds. The path to unifying China is described as requiring sticky persistence, like cow's drool, emphasizing that patience and strategic planning are essential. Screenshots show event scenes, the transport interface, and battle displays. This page looks at Annette again, developed by Wolf Team for the Mega CD. which was released internationally as part of the Ernest Evans series on Sega CD. The page features photos of cosplayers dressed as the character Annette, highlighting the before and after transformation looks, suggesting Annette undergoes a change in the game, referencing a special report on another page. The game is a side-scrolling action title, featuring magical attacks and standard combat. The review notes that while the magical screens are visually appealing, the core action gameplay feels reminiscent of Golden Axe. The article mentions that the character movements are quite smooth, and that the game is expected to be a promising title as development progresses, despite the action being somewhat conventional. Screenshots show various gameplay scenes, including platforming, fighting enemies, and a large boss battle. Details included state, the game was scheduled for a late January release, priced at 7,800 yen, is an action cradrom title, is 80% complete, and is single-player only. There's also a dramatic bubble text overlay on one screenshot warning, "Caution! Magic in use!" This page delves into the voice recording process for the visual sequences in the Ernest Evans series game, known as Annette again in Japan. The title highlights the focus on intense visual scenes. The page showcases film strips featuring various animated moments from the game, giving a peek at the cutscenes. A significant portion covers a voice recording session held on November 25th. It features photos of the voice actors at the studio, including a group shot and individual pictures while recording. We get comments from two key voice actors, Yuko Minaguchi, who voices Annette, and Kazuki Yao, the voice of Ernest Evans. Yuko Minaguchi discusses her experience, noting that compared to the previous game, having actual visuals and animation this time made the performance easier and more natural. She was impressed by how smoothly the animated scenes moved, feeling more like a proper anime. Kazuki Yao talks about portraying Ernest, mentioning the character's age difference from his own and the challenge of capturing Ernest's wilder side for the game's characterization. He encourages players not to skip the visual parts. The page introduces the voice cast involved in this recording session, including other notable voice actors like Shafurin, Yoshitada Otsuka, Norio Wakamoto, and Banjo Ginga. This page showcases the dynamic action abilities of Annette from the Ernest Evans series, focusing specifically on the gameplay from Annette again. It reveals her primary weapon, the Psycho Sword, and hints at her magical capabilities. The page details her impressive 4-level standard attack chain, which evolves with each consecutive hit, becoming more powerful. Screenshots illustrate moves like the Torrent Strike, Horizon Slash, Sonic Claw, and Screw Stroke, showing the progression of her sword techniques. Beyond her basic attacks, Annette possesses a variety of special moves. The page highlights her ability to dash for quick movement and grab enemies to set up further attacks. It demonstrates techniques like the dash kick, a versatile ranged move, and the knee crash, a close-quarters attack performed after a grab. Her most powerful move is the Cyclone Blade, executed mid-jump while dashing, delivering a powerful aerial strike. She can also perform a crash throw after grabbing an enemy, sending them flying. Finally, the jump kick provides an aerial offensive option. At the bottom, a small comic strip features Annette and a fake Annette, providing some lighthearted fan service. Accompanying photos show real-life individuals on a stage, suggesting an event or promotion related to the game or the magazine's Aneko Land feature. This page dives into two upcoming Mega CD titles. First up is the cyberpunk RPG, Illusion City. The article introduces some of the main characters, including Tenjin, Meihong, Xiaomei, Humei, and Nanten Rai of the 8 Maiden Warriors. It highlights that the game is currently 50% complete and emphasizes the complex human relationships central to the story. Character artwork and a small screenshot showing the game's perspective are featured. Below, the focus shifts to Koei's Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, making its debut on Mega CD. While the core gameplay remains the same as the cartridge version, this Mega CD port boasts several significant additions. These include a new scenario set before Dong Zhuo's era, full anime demos for openings and events, a comprehensive database of all appearing officers, and a complete collection of the game's orchestral music. The page demonstrates the officer data search feature, allowing players to look up stats and profiles. These enhancements make the Mega CD version a definitive edition for fans. This page covers the Sega CD release of Simurth, the environmental simulation game where players take on the role of God, guiding a planet from primordial ooze to civilization and beyond over 10 billion years. The article highlights this port as a significant upgrade over previous versions on other platforms. Key improvements leveraging the Cree-drum format include enhanced graphics and sound, making the game more visually and orally appealing. A major feature is the extensive use of narration, which explains events and makes the gameplay feel akin to an educational program. This is noted as fundamentally changing the feel of SimEarth in a positive way. The core gameplay remains familiar, but players can now choose from 8 different starting planets, each with unique characteristics, offering varied challenges. The overall progression is outlined through 4 stages: creating life, fostering civilization, initiating an industrial revolution, and finally, achieving space travel and escaping the planet while managing issues like war and pollution. The magazine praises the game's high quality and polish, calling it very enjoyable to play. This page continues the look at the Sega CD release of SimEarth, focusing on gameplay strategies when starting on a water planet. Since life already exists, the initial focus is on geology, specifically creating land from the endless ocean using volcanic activity. Moving into the evolution stage, the guide emphasizes the need to directly influence evolution and mutation rates while balancing the climate. Crucially, players must create shallow water areas at the land-sea interface to facilitate the evolution of sea life onto land. For the civilization phase, the primary goal is to boost the science energy allocation on the civilization panel to drive development. Once a civilization reaches the Industrial Revolution, technology advances rapidly. But the guide warns that pollution becomes a major concern. Excessive pollution can severely degrade the planet's habitability and halt progress towards later technological stages like space travel, so controlling the atmosphere to reduce it is vital. Finally, there's a strong caution against overusing monoliths. While they significantly boost scientific development, using them successfully twice allows a civilization to escape the planet, effectively ending the game prematurely and diminishing the overall enjoyment compared to letting evolution unfold naturally. This page dives into the Sega CD RPG VE, published by Sims and scheduled for an April release. It highlights the completion of the game's opening anime, offering a glimpse into the cinematic introduction. Filmstrip-style screenshots from the anime tease the game's cosmic setting, hinting at a legendary key, powerful artifacts, and intense battles. The page also introduces key characters who will shape VE's new era, including the protagonist Hyvel Jair, his fiancée Rayfan, the Joker Otto Fall, and the playful sorceress Nina. The narrative summary explains that after a great cosmic battle involving the legendary key, young heroes must rise against the invading Darnek army, with the rescue of Princess Erin being a central goal. The nature of the sealed legendary key itself remains a mystery, adding intrigue to the upcoming adventure. This page provides a first look at A Rank Thunder, an adventure game developed by Riot for the Mega CD, scheduled for release in late February. The preview jumps straight into Episode 1, where the protagonist, Yutaka, a biochemist who has been biologically modified, awakens within the secret base of the organization known as Blue's Eye and attempts to escape. Screenshots showcase dialogue scenes with character portraits and a tactical-looking view, giving a sense of the game's presentation and likely gameplay flow as Yutaka navigates the base. The narrative establishes Blue's Eye's goal to overthrow the government using modified humans. The page also introduces the main cast, including Yutaka, the government investigator Yoko tasked with hunting him, the enigmatic Blue's Eye Executive 5, Yutaka's partner Meguru, the organization's leader Rainkuru, and the intelligence officer Jinpachi. The reviewer notes the game is 60% complete and expresses high anticipation, particularly for fans of the developer. This page provides a preview of Cyborg 009, an action cry-drum title from Riot for the Mega CD, aiming for a March release and currently 50% complete. The focus is on the game's incredible visual scenes, praised for their beauty and faithfulness to the original manga art style. The story kicks off when a mysterious girl appears during a drive with Cyborgs 009 and 003, drawing them into an incident. Various screenshots showcase these visual scenes with dialogue, as well as character portraits of other cyborgs and Dr. Gilmore. The gameplay is a story-driven action game primarily controlling 009. The exhilaration of using his signature acceleration device is highlighted, along with the inclusion of standard side-scrolling levels and fast-paced forced-scrolling stages that utilize this ability. The article notes that clearing stages unlocks more visual scenes, combining action and narrative seamlessly. This page gives a preview of the Sega CD title, Night Trap. Introduced as a unique game and a secret weapon for the Sega CD's success. It's an interactive movie, where you act as part of an attack team tasked with protecting 5 girls from mysterious intruders in a house. The core gameplay involves monitoring surveillance cameras placed throughout the house and activating traps by switching between 8 cameras at the right time, which requires timing and access codes that change color. The article notes the difficulty in keeping track of everything and the challenge of timing the trap activations. The story and visuals are described as having a B-movie feel, but the reviewer finds it engaging. A key point is the need to constantly capture intruders. Failing to do so or accidentally trapping the girls will anger the commander and result in a mission failure and game over. Screenshots show the game's live-action video, the floor plan interface for camera switching, and the monitor display with trap activation controls and gauges. The page also highlights different areas of the house like the kitchen, living room, entryway, and bathroom, showing snippets of the live-action sequences that occur in those locations. This page shifts focus to other upcoming Mega CD titles, starting with Devastator. Previously mentioned as a media mix project involving anime, manga, and music creds, the article now showcases the game itself. The reviewer notes that while screenshots might not fully capture it, the game features high-quality mech action with smooth animation patterns and effective use of zoom and scaling, creating a realistic sense of direction. The shooting stages are highlighted for their beautiful backgrounds. Screenshots show a powerful dash attack, a side-scrolling shooting scene reminiscent of Sidearms, a persistent boss character, and a demonstration of the Mega Creed's scaling capabilities. The page also briefly touches on Night Striker, noting its use of scaling for large characters and dynamic movement. The reviewer looks forward to seeing more screenshots in the next issue. There's also a quick mention of Cyberlip, suggesting a potential Japanese release is anticipated. This page dives into the world of flight simulation, with a focus on Microprose's B-17 Flying Fortress. The article highlights the developer's maniacal passion for creating a realistic bomber simulation, contrasting it with typical fighter simulators. The game simulates operating the iconic B-17 with its full crew of 10, leading to a massive number of control inputs, nearing 100 key operations. Gameplay involves receiving mission instructions from your superior, managing the complexities of takeoff and landing, confirming bombing targets like factories and power plants, and defending against enemy fighters using the plane's numerous gun turrets. Screenshots showcase the B-17 itself, interior cockpit views, target acquisition, and even the consequence of failure. The reviewer notes the game's complexity and deep detail, suggesting it might not appeal to everyone, but clearly reflects the developer's dedication to the simulation. This page moves to the Game Gear section, featuring Shining Force Gaiden, released in Japan in February 1993. This title is presented as a direct continuation of the main Shining Force series, focusing on the descendants of the original heroes. It's highlighted as a full-fledged RPG on the portable system that successfully inherits the strategic battle system from the Mega Drive version. The review praises the detailed story and the flashy battle graphics. Key gameplay advice includes leveling up early, strategically using the return spell, and carefully positioning units in battle. The timing of class change, or promotion, is presented as a crucial strategy point, offering significant power boosts. The reviewer notes an improvement over the Mega Drive version, where stats no longer temporarily decrease after promotion. While generally very positive, praising the game's accessibility and classic RPG feel, the reviewer does mention the tactical battles might feel slow to some, and notes a slightly distracting status display during map movement. The game scores highly in evaluation, particularly for controls and overall recommendation. This page delves into more new releases for the Game Gear. First up is Lemmings, the classic puzzle game where you guide the titular creatures to safety. This portable version is praised for its faithful adaptation, maintaining the strategic depth despite simple controls. The reviewer notes the Game Gear version performs surprisingly well, and the compact screen aids usability. It scores highly for control, game balance, and longevity. Next is Wimbledon, a tennis game focusing on the prestigious tournament. It's described as an orthodox tennis title, with intriguing RPG elements, allowing players to strengthen their character through winning matches and earning bonus points. The game includes singles and doubles modes. While the core gameplay is solid, the reviewer feels the player progression isn't dramatically impactful. Finally, a preview of Puyo Puyo is featured, a popular falling block puzzle game making its way to the Game Gear. Still under development, the core fun of clearing blocks seems well preserved. A key highlight is the support for 2-player communication battles using the link cable. The graphics are noted as monochromatic, but controls are good, making it a promising port. This page features the 11th installment of a historical analysis of TV games, focusing on the era following the massive Space Invaders boom. The article examines the search for the true successor to Space Invaders. It describes how Space Invaders created an unprecedented social phenomenon, but also led to countless imitations, causing the market to become oversaturated and the boom to eventually fade. The article highlights Namco's Galaxian, released in 1979, as the game that genuinely advanced the industry after Space Invaders. Unlike simple imitations, Galaxian is praised for its stunning full-color graphics, detailed alien designs with smooth animation, and dynamic gameplay, including enemies that dive and attack. The reviewer emphasizes that Galaxian marked a significant leap forward, not just in presentation, but also in game design philosophy, pushing hardware capabilities, particularly the use of the CPU. It argues that Galaxian's influence was profound, fundamentally changing expectations for arcade games and paving the way for future titles. The page includes screenshots showcasing Galaxian's distinctive graphics and score table. This page provides a brief overview of Galaxian's technical innovations and its widespread influence on the arcade industry and beyond. This page delves deeper into why Galaxian was a true successor to Space Invaders, focusing on its groundbreaking hardware design. Unlike the imitative games of the era, Galaxian's hardware was conceptualized based on software ideas, a reversal of the common practice. This allowed for full-color graphics and a sophisticated character generation system, enabling detailed sprites and smooth animation, which was a significant leap from Space Invaders' simpler display. The article features a photo of the original Galaxian arcade board, highlighting this technical foundation. Galaxian's impact was immense, serving as a template for many subsequent hits, including Namco's own Pac-Man and Xevious, as well as influencing games from other companies like Nichibutsu's Moon Alien, shown in a screenshot here, and leading to the hardware advancements seen in home consoles like the NES and SNES. The reviewer appreciates Galaxian's finely tuned difficulty progression, cementing its status as a classic title. This page highlights Sega's 1979 arcade game, Deep Scan. It ran on the special Dual 2i system, often paired with another game called Car Hunt. Although Car Hunt was initially considered Sega's main title, Deep Scan unexpectedly became the bigger hit. The article details Deep Scan's gameplay, where players use depth charges to sink submarines, needing to avoid mines launched by the enemy. Scoring involves sinking subs and a bonus system for hitting special red submarines. The text notes Deep Scan was a remake of an earlier game, Deep Bomb, and how adapting it for arcade hardware led to new features like the bonus mechanic. The reviewer finds the gameplay engaging and appreciates Sega's strong programming skills evident in the game's design, suggesting this software focus was key to Sega's growth in the arcade industry. This guide offers strategies for difficult sections in Sega Mega Drive games. In Black Hole Assault, it explains the distance parameter in the computer edit feature, which dictates how close a character gets to an enemy before performing an action. For Vixen 357's Scenario 14, Droff, the advice includes using Panacea's vacuum wall for initial defense, then focusing fire on Romilda units followed by Droff troops and Trodroff. A suggested level 9 unit formation is provided. Finally, for Sonic the Hedgehog 2's Ringless Eggman battle, the guide recommends dodging Eggman's attacks by locking the reticle on screen edges and attacking his chest when he lands, then switching sides. The page also invites player questions. This page delves into the BeepMD Trick League, Volume 34, revealing hidden codes and secrets for several popular Mega Drive titles. First up is Denjin Aleste, where inputting a specific sequence, right, up, left, right, at the title screen triggers a sound effect and changes the power chip graphic into a Purin character during gameplay, as shown in the contrasting screenshots. The page also notes an extra graphic option becomes available in the menu after completing the game. Next, for Afterburner 2i, players can access special options. By navigating to the Options menu and highlighting the button configuration setting, pressing Start unlocks hidden controls to adjust the gameplay viewpoint and even change the barrel roll method, offering a fresh perspective on the action. Finally, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 gets some love with multiple tricks. Holding the button and pressing Start on one player at the title screen instantly takes you to the level select screen. Furthermore, by listening to specific tracks in the sound test within the Options menu, 1965-09-17, a ring sound confirms a successful input. Another trick, accessed from the Zone Select's own sound test, involves playing tracks 04, 01, O2, and O6 in sequence to immediately gather all Chaos Emeralds, enabling the supersonic transformation right from the start of the game. These tips offer fun ways to alter gameplay and access content quickly. This page is packed with more hidden tricks for Mega Drive games, straight from the BeepMD Trick League. First up is Truxton, revealing the method for Invincible mode. To unlock it, you need to hold down the A, B, and C buttons while powering on the system. Keep holding them as the title screen loads and the blocks disappear. Then press the Start button while still holding A, B, C to bring up the difficulty selection. From there, follow a very specific sequence of button presses. If you nail the sequence, the game's ending will play. Let it finish. Wait for the Sega logo, then press Start to begin a game. You'll be invincible. Just don't reset, or you lose the mode. Below that, there's a trick for Chameleon Kid, a warp to the final stage, submitted by a reader. The secret involves standing in a particular spot on a stage, shown in the screenshot, and simultaneously pressing the right and down directions on the D-pad, along with both the attack and jump buttons. The page also details the prizes for the BeepMD Trick League award winners across different ranks, ranging from MD and import software to gift certificates. Finally, it includes instructions on how readers can submit their own hidden tricks via postcard for a chance to be featured and win prizes. This page dives deep into the world of Fatal Fury 2, the new battle on the Neo Geo, highlighting the 8 playable characters introduced in this sequel. The main focus is on mastering the special moves for each fighter, with the page presenting their character art, a brief description, and a list of their key techniques along with the required button inputs. It stresses the importance of learning these moves before jumping into the game. Beyond special moves, the page also calls out the crucial new mechanic in Fatal Fury 2, the line attack system. Unlike the first game, you can now freely move between the foreground and background lines using the A plus B buttons, adding a whole new dimension to strategy by allowing attacks from different planes and the ability to knock opponents between lines. This feature is presented as a powerful tool for victory. A small section on the side briefly touches upon the original Fatal Fury, noting it as the predecessor and mentioning how Terry Bogard could clear it using the Power Wave special move. It also points out that the Super Famicom port of the first game differed significantly because it didn't incorporate the line system. This page features a reader present campaign for the February 1993 issue, offering various prizes to lucky winners. Headlining the giveaways are chances to win your choice of Mega Drive or Game Gear software. Fans of Sega's mascot can grab a promotional flyer video for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Other items include an original telephone card featuring characters from Wanpaku Kozu, a signed illustration by Izumi Takemoto, and a commemorative calendar for Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i. Beyond the prizes, there's an information section reflecting on the start of the year and the upcoming game lineup. The magazine notes that while perhaps sparser than the previous year, titles like Phantasy Star IV and the successor to the Shining series are on the horizon, expressing hope they'll excite players. There's also a telephone line available for readers with questions about the magazine's content, though they won't provide game hints. This page features the interactive comic adventure game, Yumi Nix, from GameArts. Vibrant cover art showcases the game's bubbly title logo and charming anime characters in a whimsical setting, including a schoolhouse and mysterious floating creatures. Smaller screenshots below give glimpses of different scenes and character expressions encountered during gameplay. Described as an interactive comic, the game boasts a fully animated presentation with over 7,000 cells and 800 cuts rendered in full-screen anime, based on layouts by Izumi Takemoto. Players can enjoy a branching storyline leading to multiple endings determined by their command choices. The game also features a talented cast of voice actors and a theme song by Yumiko Takahashi, adding to the immersive experience. Yumi Mix is presented as a title for the Mega CD, promising a rich, animated adventure. This page showcases the Mega CD title, Jiko Chushin Ha 2, Geki 2, Tokyo Mahjong Landhen, a mahjong game from GameArts based on the manga by Masayuki Katayama. The central image is a vibrant, cartoony map of Tokyo Mahjong Land, a theme park featuring 16 attractions and 3 restaurants, serving as the setting for the game. The game promises challenging mahjong matches against 51 waiting characters. The main mode, Story Mahjong, involves battling formidable opponents throughout the park's attractions, clearing levels based on win conditions in single or tag matches. A unique Date Mahjong mode is also highlighted, where players use their mahjong skills to impress a potential girlfriend, with the outcome determining the success of the date and potential game over. Published by GameArts in 1992, the game offers a quirky mahjong experience set within a whimsical amusement park environment. This page features 2 exciting Sega Game Gear titles being promoted in the BeepMD magazine from February 1993. At the top, we see the upcoming Shining Force Gaiden, bringing the popular strategy RPG series to the portable Game Gear. The artwork features a cast of characters and monstrous foes, highlighting the grand scale of the adventure. It mentions the game includes battery backup and is priced at 5,500 yen. The text hints at a new legend unfolding 20 years after the sealing of the Dark Dragon, with days of conflict returning to Guardiana. Below this, the page showcases Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Game Gear. Familiar artwork of Sonic and Tails is prominent, alongside screenshots of the high-speed action. The description mentions Tails is caught by Eggman, prompting Sonic's return, and, intriguingly, highlights the inclusion of vehicles this time. It's presented as an action game priced at 3,800 yen. In the center, the Game Gear itself is promoted, emphasizing its portability with the slogan, "Anytime, Anywhere Game Gear," even showing it with a TV tuner attachment. This page clearly targets players of the Mega Drive publication by showcasing major franchises coming to Sega's portable console, promising big adventures on the go.